Hail, adventurers! And welcome to the 118th episode of Dirty 20 in the evening of laughter, drama, and adventure we call it D&D Podcast. Desire your Dungeon Master for the evening, and I'm once again joined by my colourful cast of characters. As you can probably see, Elle is not with us right now. Unfortunately, Virgin Media doing some things apparently, and her internet is kind of fucked up at the moment. So hopefully she'll be able to join us shortly. But until then, you'll have to make do with the rest of the gang. So before we jump into the game, we're going to do our regular round of shout-outs, as we always do. So let's kick things off with Mitch today. As I do all the time. I think I always start with Mitch, but whatever.
Yeah, you usually do, and then occasionally you're like, choose someone else, and I'm like, oh. Hi guys, twitch.tv/Natural Wonders. We play Star Wars Edge of the Empire on Mondays at 7 PM to 10 PM, BST, GMT, whatever time of year it is. It's me, you, and Jay, Sam, and a couple of other friends. It's good fun. Come check us out. Twitch.tv/Natural Wonders. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you very much. Maya, why don't you pop off next?
I am going to pop off. Hello, everybody. I am Maya, and I stream over on twitch.tv/Anamaya. And I stream Genshin Impact, and in probably just over a month, I will start streaming again and start playing the wonderful game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So if you want to come and watch my reaction to what is apparently a very, very good game, come and check it out. It's so good.
Thank you.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
You'll get it when you play the game. So, Sam, why don't you go next? I thought it was going to be funnier than it was.
I got the joke. I got it.
Yes, so one of my many alter egos on the webs of Inter is Sam JKP. Both YouTube and Twitch. Play Pokemans, a little bit of Fads every now and then. Probably something else at some other point. But yeah, come and watch, please.
That sounded like a cry for help.
I don't know how to end shout-outs. What do you say?
Amazon on me.
Thank you, Sam. I'm going to do a new one today. So, Jay, why don't you talk about stuff, because I've seen you've been streaming, so...
Oh, I streamed a little something called Griftlands, where I was stealing from people and putting it back inside them, and stealing from their pockets, and then putting it back inside them. A very fun game, space, sci-fi, grift, Kenshi, sometimes cutting off limbs, got something else in the works.
Coitus interruptus the game.
Coitus interruptus the game, yeah. Deletus fetus.
Readers Fetus.
Very
It's
fun.
going so well.
Was it?
We were
We're on the edge of greatness!
this close. Yeah, thank you. Okay, note to self, never let Jay shout out his own channel again.
Never let Jay shout.
In other news, it's not really other news, it's just additional news, I guess. Discord, if you want to join us on there, you can see the shout-outs and maps and all that cool stuff. As we play the game, that's where we dump the handouts and things that the players find, so if you want to be part of that experience and be able to see some of the maps and environments, then make sure to join us on there. I believe that is it. Do we have anything else anyone wishes to announce, or likewise?
No.
Alright, perfect. So, I guess in which case, that brings us to the end. So let's delve into today's episode of Dirty 20. Alright, so, previously on Dirty 20, hoping to gather further knowledge on how to defeat the Illithid, as well as getting an expert to speak at the potential meeting with the Alliance members, Ferra Carta leapt at the chance to track down Aranon, a Stellarian expert on psionics. Knowing his last known location, you, through Storm, used his ability to teleport you north. However, without much to anchor you to the destination, pardon me,
No.
the spell was thrown off course, hurting you substantially and dumping you on the side of an unknown misty mountain. Fog loomed everywhere, and it seemed impossible to navigate. With little choice, you returned to Deep Bay via a more reliable teleportation method. Thankfully, Eridel came to a realization regarding a potential link between Aranon and her mother. Confronting her, she explained she knew him well, and was suspicious of how they already knew his name. She did indeed confirm he was not only an expert in psionics, but the person who was able to meld the tadpole and humanoid brain in the first place. Looking for ways to get a better chance at a teleport, the party split, with Arya and Zuko visiting Sindri. He was able to help Arya scry on the location, though it seemed to be a one-time event, doing so as a fulfillment on his side of the bargain before. Meanwhile, the others were able to secure, through certain means, a magical needle supposedly originating from Val'Aeria. Together again, you used it as a focus, as you teleported through reality, appearing in the middle of an abandoned village, overgrown farmland surrounding it. As you feel that cool air once again, the sound of nature calling out, what do you wish to do?
It worked.
Oh, sure.
Do we still have the needle?
The needle is still in Storm's hand. So, Storm, I'll give you this chance as you have begun the teleport. As you appear, what is the flavour of your teleport? Finding purchase in the middle of this
I think
area. And then I'll describe the area again so that you know, because obviously you weren't here for those sessions, what you're actually looking at now.
So I think the flavor of Storm's teleport is he kind of walks and like strikes his blade and raises one of his claws up, and like from each claw it kind of like mists up into like a cloud above us, like a stormy cloud, and individually we get zapped by the lightning of this mini storm cloud and disappear as we're teleported.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So, for the sake of you, Storm, as you begin to appear once again, you find yourself standing within a simple-looking village, long since lived in. Basic hovels with large cobblestone walls and thatched roofs are boarded up. Many of the buildings are collapsed and or now home to wild animals. At the centre, you can see, not too far away from you actually, as you have appeared in what you believe to be maybe like a market square, there are a couple of wooden stalls that are collapsed inwards, now kind of caked in dirt and overgrown. But near you, you can see this falling stone church, the steeple crooked and hanging on by sheer willpower, ready to fall at a moment's notice. Around you, you can see the flatlands, or most of it. For surrounding the village itself is this clearly old farmland that like the village itself, is now overgrown. Corn and wheat, mostly dead, and long grass filling the places where it once was. And that is where you are.
Are there any people nearby?
Roll me a perception check.
Okie dokie.
Your initial sighting, you don't see or hear any.
Any signs of life apart from animals?
21. Alright.
anyone?
Alright, so as you glance around, very acutely aware of your surroundings, you hone yourself in and listen out, closing your eyes for a moment to see if you can hear anything, then opening them and looking to see if anyone's watching you from the tall grass or beyond. But there is no sign of life. Not for a very long time. What I'll tell you is that as you look across the village, the kind of moss and vines that almost entirely encompass some of the buildings, they've been here for a very long time. Decades, maybe.
I would like to do my usual little sweep of like flying around 30 feet into the air and do like a 50-foot sort of circle and just see what I can, if I can like pick out anything.
Sure. As you begin to fly up, let's put you onto a different map here. Let's put you back onto the rest of the coast as you are no longer in Deep Bay. So, as you fly up, also roll me a perception check. How high are you going again?
We'll say 40 feet. I thought that's
40?
a decent
Okay.
high.
That's not too high. Right.
I'm gonna guidance
Yeah, perception check.
myself as well.
Okay.
12.
12. Yeah, as you get a little bit higher, you can see that you're getting hit by this fairly mild downpour. It's a little beyond spitting, but there is a continuous ray. As you get up about 40 foot, you're above where the steeple is now, which seems to be about maybe 5 or 10 foot below you in perspective. You can see above the tall grass, and it does extend mostly to the horizon. However, to your south, you can see just about, and it really is just on the horizon, what appears to be maybe a river. And to your north, it's very apparent to you, beyond the overgrown wheat fields to the north, and kind of stretching slightly westward as well, is what appears to be maybe a woodland area. And beyond that, right up to the edge of your vision, you can see where a more swampy area seems to be beginning to kind of fade in.
Oh no, we're in Zeros.
You are near Zeros. You do believe you are near Zeros. And as you look in that direction, you can see where the overgrown fields, they seem to extend for maybe 200 feet, and before they kind of reach this woodland area. Now, the woodland area does appear to be different kinds of tree. It isn't a swamp. The land does seem to be a little drier, and kind of more earthy, rather than mud and bog. And rather than willow trees and pine, here you see more like birch and oak. So it seems to be a more segregated woodland area, but it does eventually fade into the bogland.
I will obviously land the rest of the party. I can't see anyone near. Doesn't seem to be anyone around.
When go on.
I was just going to say, well, if he's in hiding, he's not really going to come out and say hi to anyone passing by, is he?
When I... Sorry, I'm so
No,
sorry, please.
It's go for it. It's absolutely fine.
I was just going to say, when I scried on this place, I think I remember seeing people pushing a cart with dead bodies in it, or they looked like bodies, I don't know. Can I look around and see if I can either see the cart or maybe where they might have been pushing the cart?
You're muted.
Thank you. As you look around, you can put together pieces of the memory from what you scried on. You can see that I would say to the northwest of the village, you remember seeing the image of a cart shuffling through the long grass, or like near the long grass.
Okay.
What if there is some element of illusion at play here?
Well, this is what I was thinking. Like, or does he have people bringing him bodies to experiment on?
Some lair.
Yes. Might be
Do you-
worth a look.
Can you spot where the cart was going from here?
I mean, I didn't get a huge look at where it was going, but and I point to the northwest long grass area. That is where I saw it.
Perhaps there'll be tracks.
Yes.
I'm gonna head over there and start looking for like cart markings like in the dirt or like footprints or anything.
I will join you on that.
I am gonna guidance Eridel as I see her like looking for this.
Is this investigation?
Survival.
As you're heading over to kind of look for them, I'd say this initially would be an investigation.
Can I keep an eye out to see if there's like an ambush waiting or people hiding and looking at us? Well,
Sure, roll me a perception check as you're doing this. Okay, Eridel 11.
26.
26. Nice.
Nice.
Okay. As you head over, you know where you saw them in this scry. So as you head over to there, pushing through a little bit of the long grass, moving it aside and looking down, you can see the very clear indentations of wagon wheels on the ground, as well as footprints that extend northward through the long grass towards this wooded area. As you look to your left, I suppose, as you're coming at it from that direction, you can see it's fading down towards the south, in the direction of the river.
Okay.
With your natural 1 for a 6.
just
Alistair.
walking with his eyes closed at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to really see. It's very, very thick in terms of the grass. If anyone is watching, you don't see them.
I think while we're kind of like doing this little like looking around or whatever, finding our way around, I want to stay around like 20 feet in the air just to keep a bit of a lookout, an aerial lookout.
Sure. Yeah. You keep in the air. How high in the air?
We'll say 20 feet, so I can still hear them.
Shall we start following the tracks?
And they were the way they were going was into the long grass, towards the woods.
It appeared to be so.
Alright, did you say it was a single individual within the cart? Or
I
group?
think it was multiple. I think. Hang on, I did write it down.
I do remember you saying that there was more than one person like pushing it.
I think it was. I'll just double check.
So our target here could have friends, or followers, or thralls.
Malnourished men pushing a cart is all I put.
Or this is just something else weird going on in the same area, completely detached. The chances. Where did that come from?
Follow the stream, go!
I don't think that was in the sirens.
Yeah, no. I think I know who
Should
it
we
was.
be worried?
Okay. I will try and stay low to the ground, and try and follow the track as best I can, and be the spearhead of walking through the long grass.
As we're walking, I'd love to cast See Invisibility to have a quick look around in case we're being watched.
Yes, that's good.
Good idea.
Right, you cast the spell.
Cast it. Eyes go lightning.
Alright, roll me a perception check. Let's see if you see anything new.
No.
Ooh. I mean, you look around you. You You don't see anything that would indicate you're being watched by a scry, and you certainly don't see anything that is obviously invisible to you now.
Okay. I'll keep it on, keep scanning around, just in case.
That lasts for an hour, correct?
Yes, an hour, yeah.
We're just going to keep walking through the grass.
Sure. So, congregating at the tall grass and the tracks themselves, you begin to follow the trail. These deep marks in the ground and several footprints that lead off. So, it takes you the better part of an hour. Now, when you left Deep Bay, it was already getting dark. You've done quite a lot today, and it is beginning to get to late afternoon. After an hour of walking and following the tracks, which seem to just go on and on, weaving around larger rocks and across smaller streams, the sun has all but set now, and you find yourself fading into darkness, especially now as you come upon the wooded area. That actually doesn't take you too long to get to. That, after about 10-15 minutes of walking, you actually pass through the tree line and are now walking through a fairly wide and sparse woods. The trunks aren't really held together. It's more of a maybe like 20-25 foot between each of the tree trunks, and a lot of them are like birch or oak, but the trunks aren't that thick, so you can see quite a ways through here, aside from where the elevation shifts and changes, and the kind of like mossy rocks that do obscure your vision in some places. As it gets darker, is there anything you'd like to do?
Light up my drift
You'd
globe.
like to make me aware of? Okay, you'd like the drift globe up? Okay.
How are we in terms of like exhaustion? Do we need to rest soon?
You've only travelled an hour, and I don't think you've actually done any other journeying today.
Yeah, cool. I'd fine.
Well, actually, you might have done the... No, you did do stress kits today. Alright, yeah, I just realised you returned to Deep Bay in the early hours of the morning, and then you slept, so it's technically the same day as you arrived. But that's inconsequential.
Okay. I'm fine to keep going.
Alright. So it's just the drift globe that's lighting up.
I guess.
I believe so.
We need any more light.
Okay. So, eventually, having weaved through the woods and using the light as a source, it is the only source of light here. It is very obviously quite a bright beacon in the darkness, but it does allow you to follow the tracks and see it, especially for those without means of seeing in pitch black. But finally, as you curve around kind of a large set of rocks and it descends slightly, you turn past and can see the tree line goes for maybe another 30 foot in front of you. Who has dark vision?
Aye.
Ooh, let me see.
Okay, so those of you that have dark vision, I can just say
I
like that.
have.
Those of you that have
Isn't it
dark
just
vision.
Kensei and Gaiak? who
Gaiak,
doesn't have
yeah.
dark vision?
I have
Yeah.
like
Had
super
the
dark
issue.
vision.
I had a feeling you did,
Oh yeah, Vala.
So, those of you with dark vision, you can see this. Those without, you can just about see the ends of the woods from the light. I mean, in the darkness, you can't really tell the colorations, but what you can see in front of you, beyond the tree line, is another 20 to 25 foot distance before you see a decrepit old stone brick factory. It appears to be likely around 2 to 3 floors high and has several chimney stacks that erect themselves from the roof, but one is flaccid and broken. From the working one, it coughs this phlegmy black pue. There are several checkered windows that line the upper floor. However, the ground floor, as far as you can see, appears to be bare of windows. but does seem to have a close set of wagon doors and a single door entrance on another side, which you can just about see from your angle of approach. However, the building itself is not just there in the open. There is a walled-off compound, wall, that surrounds the building, 10 foot high, and with a hefty iron bar gate at the front, through which you can see the barn doors, and then slightly to the right, on the other side of the building, a single door.
Gonna try and open the gate.
I mean, you're gonna just walk right out?
I was going to, but now I'm doubting my decision.
No.
Well, what I'll say is, as you take a single step forward,
You have a heart attack and die.
you immediately die. A scent hits your nose, and it takes you aback from a second, and you can smell the very clear scent of death, and it lingers.
I can see perfectly fine here. I can fly. I'm happy to go and have a little look around. See
There
what we're
is
working with.
always the option of sending the little eye.
Yes, if you want to expend the slot.
As you're talking
Quietly.
those of you again with dark vision, I'd actually like those of you with dark vision to roll me a perception check. Now, some of you won't have disadvantage on this. Some of you will still have disadvantage.
25.
What the fuck?
So,
I
Always
alright.
have to one up me, don't you, Arya?
It's my
Oh!
thing, baby.
Do I have that?
You have disadvantage then, because you don't have the superior dark vision. So those of you with just normal dark vision are treating this like dim light.
Okay.
Alright, so that I believe
before,
that
but-
means that.
Fucking hell.
Okay, yeah. So
I
Arya,
have
you have the superior dark vision, right? You do have disadvantage, yeah.
From
No.
regular.
Do you have
I have dark vision.
you? Yeah, you have. Do you not have something specific from your subclass that allows you to have
Isn't yours
like
superior?
120? It
I
might
have,
be.
I
it might
have,
just be
I
bigger
have
than
100.
yours.
I have
It's
120
an
feet of dark vision
invocation for us.
because of
Yeah, I
Shadow
didn't know
Sorcerer.
if it was also a shadow sorcerer thing as well, but I think it's just you get an increased range. Okay,
Double
so
sight gives you the.
Even at disadvantage,
Alright,
I rolled
so-
a 24, so.
oh yeah.
Roll.
So 25 Aria, you are able to notice this. Everyone else, you kind of you can see forms and shapes on the walls, but they look like maybe spikes around. However, Aria, you can tell, you can see the outlines, though not in too much detail, of several guards that seem to be at the level of the wall. You can imagine there's probably a walkway that extends around it. It's only a 10-foot high wall, but it does appear to be like a walkway on the other side. And you can see there are a number of armed guards that seem to be patrolling this wall. You do also notice at least two walk through the compound itself, and you can see through the checkered window at least 3 or 4 shadows passing by it.
Do they look a bit menacing, or do they just like bog standard guards?
I'm going to say it's too difficult for you to tell.
Yep, fair enough.
You're basically getting a shade of a darkness.
Yeah.
However, you do see that, but that is not all that I was going to say. So, because of that perception check, and this one is not with sight, so this is just straight rolls for everyone. Those of you, let's see here. So Eridel would hear this, Arya would hear this, Storm would hear this, Zuko.
10.
If it's sound, could I technically roll a perception check?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Do that.
And Ken say, I suppose, as well, if you're wanting to listen in.
Murderers!
Oh, 24.
Well, 24. You've all got, like, above 20, Sid. Well,
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
Watch this be the only time you guys roll above 10 today. Alright, so, you all hear this kind of voice from beyond, which signals to you that there probably are guards here. And Aria, you can see one of them actually kind of looking towards your direction. You hear one of them say, "Do you see that light?"
Oh,
As I hear that, I'm gonna like dim. Maybe that was a bad idea, but I've said it now. My immediate
As
reaction
you
would be
hear
to
that
do
and turn the light out, it just vanished as I said that.
Yeah.
Turn it back on.
And then Ara, you can see him disappear from the wall.
Oh, no.
Like, he seems to walk down some steps.
if you wanted, if you wanted to
I. Oh wait, let me see if the drift globe can stay in place as I walk away.
Shall we just try the diplomatic approach and just knock?
Us?
What kind of
diplomatic?
guy do we think he is?
Well, we know he
Well,
experimented.
judging from this, it's not looking very positive.
Yes, and I don't think we have much time to make a plan right now. We should probably hide.
All right, let's hide.
I'm gonna hide in a tree.
I'm gonna cast
I'm gonna do the same.
gaseous form.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide as well.
Zuko just turns into mist.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna hide. I'm gonna stand behind a tree.
not hiding.
Wait,
I'm gonna
No, I'm
hide.
standing.
we did a short rest, didn't we?
Inconspicuously.
We should.
I'm
We
gonna
should.
hide.
Yeah, we
We
did.
did a
I'm
short
gonna
rest.
hide in the tree that Aerodel is standing next to.
You're muted,
You're
boy.
muted.
What are you actually doing, Aradel?
I am standing next to a tree, so that if anybody like
Never mind.
walks by, I'm just like kind of like leaning on the tree, like yeah, I'm just minding my business.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Can I not cast the spell that I just cast?
You've done it now. You've done it now.
Oh.
I'm gonna stand with those guys then. If we're
When
not,
I see that
yeah.
Aerodol isn't bothering to hide, I'm like, oh, okay, fine, and I'll go lean against the tree as well.
I've already jumped.
All
in
of
the
us
fucking
leaning against a tree
so-
in a line, just like yeah.
Apart from
nothing
me,
to
Yeah,
do
who
here.
is
what's
a
that?
cloud of mist right now.
Can I cast invisibility?
You can if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just in case I'm going to cast invisibility. Just
All right. You go
be off to the
invisible.
side.
Very stupid.
So
Very stupid.
as you go about this, and some of you head up to like a tree or a cluster of trees and wait there. You can see several. Well, first of all, you see like a flicker of warm and orange light that kind of flickers beyond the stone or the rocks where you previously had come around, and eventually that light intensifies as you hear the crunching of boots on undergrowth and twigs and leaves, and eventually you can see coming from around the corner about 4 people. 2 of them are holding torches, and all of them have these long wooden spears with like an iron spike at the end as they approach round. Unless you do anything. Alright. In which case they turn the corner and can see you all, and you immediately see one of them kind of take a step back. Oh, what's your business here?
I'm gonna look at
Weird.
Aerodol.
We're looking for somebody. We believe that they might be here.
I think you've got yourself lost.
Oh no, we are exactly where we're supposed to be.
We didn't mean to frighten you. We're looking for somebody by the name of Aranon.
You see they kind of like whisper to each other. What's your business with Aranon?
We're here relaying a message from Belinda. I think if you were to say that name to him, he would know what I mean.
Very well. You'll have to wait outside the compound first.
Of course.
And don't try anything funny.
Understood.
I assure you, we're the least comical of people you could meet.
You can see the other three are kind of looking at Storm uncomfortably.
Are they look human?
They're all human.
Ah, okay.
They're all human, and as you're getting a better look at them, and they've got torches over them, you can see they do look malnourished. They don't look like they've had too many good meals. The armor they're wearing is technically leather, but it's tattered. It's very half-assed. You can see part of the spear is splintered. They don't look too well looked after.
Fuck that.
The one that was speaking with you turns on their heels and begins to walk back as the others give a lasting look across at Storm, then to Gaiak, and then peel away back towards the compound. And you can see eventually the light fading from view. And then the...
There you go, I'm going to drop invisibility.
They seem really nervous.
And not very well kept either.
I assume they don't get many visitors.
Who can blame?
Yeah.
Who would want to come here?
I'm gonna, as the gases form, I'm gonna follow the guards. I'm gonna drift back with them.
Right, sure. As you kind of follow back, as they get to the gate, you can see one of them kind of looks down and sees this fog, like drifting. Oh, kind of like brushes his hand across his leg to try and get rid of you, but I mean it's not going anywhere. You're a cloud. Sticks his spear in the ground, just rubs his hands. One of them does begin to head off towards the main building, and you can see a couple more guards approach. What was it? Some people to see Aranon, I think. In the middle of the night, this time. Didn't say he was having any visitors. It's not up to me to send them away. You must ask him first. Yeah, you're right. Don't want to end up like last time. Heads over, heads round the side of the building towards the door. Are you continuing to follow this main person?
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on. That's what you can do.
I'll snoop.
Alright, I actually need to make...
Last
Nah.
time.
Hold on.
I mean, I would.
What?
I wish I was like Moon Man with little glowing bits.
Oh, man.
The moon.
Communicate telepathically.
Alright, so...
It's hard to beat.
Oh, it's not here. God damn it. That's alright. So... I wonder if this is gonna ruin anything. Okay, no, it can't be seen on stream, that's good. You effectively find yourself stepping through a doorway as he walks around the corner and opens it up and steps through. Immediately, as you do, you're greeted by a cacophony of different sounds. As you step through, you can see workers, mostly in rags, exhausted, working along one of two conveyor belts of sorts, powered by other workers moving a large spoked wheel. They put together these various trinkets and items, some which light up or hum with a sound, or otherwise indicate some kind of magical output. to the best of your knowledge, it's a factory line. Each person has their job, and they work it fast and with efficiency, always threatening to fall behind pace. On the same side as the stairs, and the tinted window above, which you will see in a moment, is a metallic chute of sorts. Its red lip hanging over a massive rusted metallic bin. And as you follow the guard through, you hear this boom, 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 boom sound, and suddenly falling out from the chute into this large bin like contraption is a severed human leg. Just flops through. Still with a trouser and shoe on it, flops into the bin.
Okay.
Otherwise, the floor is taken up by crates and other storage, creating this claustrophobic interior with corridors of crates and barrels to walk between. And that stench of decay is strong here, along with the buzzing of flies and the clattering of machines.
I think I get there and that's enough for me. I'm just going to go back. I'm leaving.
Alright.
Float back the way I came.
What I will also tell you is you can see that this isn't the... this is not the only thing you can see here. As you're in this ground floor, we'll call it the factory floor, there is a set of staircases, or a staircase I suppose, that leads up to a floor balcony. And this long wooden balcony that provides an overwatch down here onto the factory floor. And it covers virtually all of the walls, except for the one behind you. It's like a rectangular shaped room, and at the top of these staircases you can see this tinted window and a doorway next to it.
Okay. Can I just see, where is the guard heading now that he's gone inside? Is he going up the stairs?
He's now going straight up the steps.
Okay.
And as he gets to the top, he's beginning to go for that door.
Okay. With that information then, I'll now back out, drift all the way back across the courtyard and out to wherever the party was.
Alright, as you begin to drift back out, you slip between the seam of the door, which, as a fairly decrepit looking building, is easy to get out of. You don't have to worry about trying to get yourself out of here. You can slip out into the night again. So, those of you begin to wait. Zoka, are you heading straight back to the rest of the group?
Yeah, straight back, hopefully to get there before
Yeah.
the others, but we'll see.
Yeah, you drift over. I'll say that you get there and you don't see any sign of them coming back yet.
So yeah, Zuko just reforms out of the ground. Okay, that little look inside. Pretty grotesque. There's lots and lots of workers who all look as weak as those guards, making things in big long lines, and there's this big pipe in the ceiling that shot out a leg, like a severed leg, into a bin.
leg?
Yes, like a cut off leg. Just fell out of the... Oh, it was like... boom, into the box. And it stunk very bad. The guards were talking about they needed to get permission from Aranon, or they didn't want it to end up like last time, so I guess we're not the first visitors ever.
What does that mean?
I didn't know. They stopped talking there. The guard went inside. In the factory floor there are the staircases, and I imagine Aranon's somewhere up there, because that's where the guard went. He went up and towards the door, but I couldn't risk following any deeper. It was all very awful, horrid.
So what is the deal with what we're asking of Aranon? We've got a plan of what we're going to say.
Well,
Well,
the thing I want to ask him is, does he know where the foot can be? Where they enter this thing from?
Intel.
To be an expert.
Yes, that's right. He was a leading psionic researcher, so...
He knows anything about where to hit them where it hurts. Will be this man. I guess we just tell him that. But
That
this
light
is the
now
kind
begins
of
to
stuff...
shine on you
Oh.
again. Like you can see the light coming back towards you. Just letting you know that.
If we name drop Belinda, that might help as well, right?
The light.
Yes, like the torchlight of people coming back
Oh, right, I
towards you.
see. Yeah, well,
Didn't-
yeah.
Ferradale already mentioned Belinda.
The guards
guard.
themselves. Oh, that's good. Yes, the guards themselves didn't seem like they were plotting against us. Right then.
Well, I don't think we can really formulate a plan until we get an idea of what kind of person Aranon is. But if that is the kind of experiments he's doing, it makes me nervous.
Yes.
We don't even know whose side he really is on.
If he's on any side at all.
I sense men like him tend to be on their own sides.
Yes. So we better make it worth his while, I guess.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
The torchlight is now more intense as the guard before comes back with 2 others this time. Aranon has said he'd like to talk with you.
Oh,
Oh wow, that's
great.
easier than expected.
You lead the way?
Inside, yes.
I'm going to take you to his office. And you can see... Let me just check something. I don't know how I've not written any of this down. I probably should do that. What's your passive insight?
Passive insight.
Yeah. 10, it'll be 10 plus your insight skill.
Oh, 11 for me.
So
Insight.
11 for Aria.
19 for
Let
me.
me check mine.
Oh, hold on.
Take-
I'm gonna.
My passive.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll call out and. Alright, 15 for Storm, 19 for Eridel,
I put mine in chat as well.
Gaiac,
Where do I
10.
put my
Yeah, I
passive
got yours.
insight?
Alistair, yours is 20.
Yeah.
Jesus
Well, plus 10 to
Christ.
insight.
Milk
Very
me.
nice.
Okay, and Kensei's is.
Jack?
What's yours, Kensei?
I'm trying to find it. Where is it?
Just
It'll
short.
just be
Insight
10
or-
plus your
10
insight.
plus your insight.
Oh, 10 plus my insight.
Yeah.
Hang on. Insight 16.
16.
Nice.
Alright. Okay, so I'm going to say, I think Eridel, Alistair, obviously, Storm and Kensei, you can all get an air that you get the impression he wanted to... There was almost like he... How do I word this? He almost wants to say something. You can see him go to open his mouth, hold his tongue. But there is a strong kind of like fear around him. He seems very nervous, but you don't take that in a way of a plot against you. He seems to be scared of something else or someone else. That's what I will tell you as he begins to lead you back.
I'm gonna reach over to Eridel and sort of just whisper to her. Do you think it'd be good for psychic whispers, or not really?
If he's a
Visioning
psionic
where we're going.
If he's a psionic expert, I'm not sure if he will be able to sense it. He might take it as a front. I don't know.
It's somehow got an entire town scared of him, it seems, so I don't know how dangerous he might be.
I suppose we'll find out.
Well, lead the way. We're eager to meet him.
Alright, so... So following the guard, he leads you the same way that Zuko, you had followed him before, up towards this metal gate, kind of wraps his hand on it, and you can hear like the jingle, the chung chung chung. Eventually it's opened, and you can see now that at least like maybe between 15 and 20 guards around this facility, walking around the walls. All of them look very poorly armed though. You get the impression that they are probably not here to take on particular threats like yourself, likely to warn off wild animals or any other threats, and given it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's closeness, vicinity to Shrazkus. Yes, you can imagine there's probably occasions where there's some confrontation.
wildlife.
So, as you follow through, you come towards that door. He opens it up, and then you two, the rest of you, come face to face with the scene inside and the stench that washes across you. As you're walking through, you find flies landing on your face that you have to brush away. It is unpleasant at best. But he leads you up the stairs and towards a doorway at the top of the landing. As he opens it up, you can see beyond it is a very simple waiting area, a single bench facing a door opposite it, currently on your left. So as you step into this room, on your right is this single bench and then a doorway on the other side, and then a window that looks out over the compound and the woods beyond. And that is about it. It is very dimly lit in here. It's lit by a single torch, a single candle on like a wall mount on the side, and that is it. As he steps through and waits for you all to come in. If you would kindly wait here, Aranon will see you when he's ready.
What's he like?
And he just walks out,
That's
closes the door behind.
I guess that
says
answers your
everything,
question.
doesn't it?
Yikes.
Just quickly looking around the room. Does this look like a sus room, or are we right?
No, I'm gonna join.
It's very bare, as far as you can tell.
Right. Okay.
Do I see like blood stains or like? signs
Sure,
of
actually,
conflict?
yeah. Give me a perception check with that.
Perception.
You sounded excited
Yeah.
about that, Ewan. Sure,
I am.
bloodstains. I'll tell you all about them.
Yeah, as you look on the ground, you can see very clear signs of where blood has been washed off the floor. There's little pieces that remain and dried into the wood. It's not a pleasant sight.
Seems that
So,
no
like,
room is sacred. Just point out the blood. Let's not end up like whoever that belongs to.
Sindri did warn us about experiments.
He said experiments on psionics, not people.
He warned us not to become one of Aranon's experiments.
He said he was a bit cuckoo, no?
Did you say there's like a window looking over the room that we just came out of, or is it
So, not from this room, not
No.
looking over the factory floor.
just the outside?
Based on how you've walked up the stairs, you can imagine the tinted window that you'd seen is probably looks out from the room that you're looking at now, the doorway, potentially his office. But there is a window in this room that looks out,
To
like kind of like little cubed window frame. As you look out, but it looks outside, not into the interior. But you can hear the activity going on below. Is there anything you'd like to do as you wait?
He was expelled from the Empire for doing taboo experiments.
And if the leg earlier has anything to do with his experiments, I sort of understand why.
This is really saying something. The Empire doesn't really have much of a moral code on what.
Yeah, I think the fact that they were the ones who responded is
The things I've seen that they do within their own morality is questionable. So
It makes me even more worried about my mother. She seems to idolize him.
Gaiak, how long did it take you to consult the cloak about future events?
A minute, maybe?
What happens if we ask this guy for help?
I am going to look out the window. And so you are muted.
Yeah.
So I can see the night sky and...
Is the description that it's on the cloak, or that when you see the night sky? Or is it say you just cast a spell?
I think I have to be able to see the night sky to cast the spell.
Oh, right, okay. Sure. Alright. I couldn't remember the specifics of it.
But yeah, and then I'll kind of ask what happens. Wait, actually, we need to be more specific. It will be positive, negative, or undetermined.
What happens if we let this guy join like the council of like what do we do next? Still the meetings.
Okay.
Something along those lines, but better worded, I guess. I don't know how your cloak
What
works.
happens if we bring him back to Deep Bay? Is it good or bad?
Yes.
Okay. I will look out the window and kind of you see Guy close his eyes and that green glow kind of emits again. And I'll kind of... Because I don't specifically have to say it, do I? It's more of just like events that will take place in the next like 30 minutes, specifics of it. I kind of just want to get a vibe check on how this is going to go, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. So, just to clarify it, you receive an omen from another worldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 8 minutes. So it just is. I mean, you don't even have to pose it as a question. It doesn't seem, but I mean, it's probably the cool way to do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I am, just gonna kind of, obviously, think about, I mean, I can't visualize him, I don't know what he fucking looks like. But, visualize the circumstances and kind of channel that into the cloak.
Okay. So what is it specifically that you are...
I want to know how this interaction with him is gonna go for us and our intentions.
So... Okay. Alright, it's a little vague, but the course of action is if we have a conversation with this person. Okay. As you look at the sky, two shooting stars flash.
We quickly check what that means.
Did we get this cloak?
It is in the sky, not in the... He bought it from
Yeah.
the shop.
Oh, for God's sake, I've lost the bloody cloak. I don't have it in my...
I'll put it on the... I'll put it in Discord.
Yes.
It's probably in there somewhere, but I'll put it in the campaign tab. Alright, so this is the cloak. When it wants to load. Oh god, my laptop is roasting right now.
Two, both good and bad.
Both good and bad.
Yeah, two shooting stars, both the good and bad, so...
Which I'm kind of like flavouring a little bit more as like that could also mean like could go either way.
So
Like teetering.
it's undetermined, so I guess we just have to keep our wits about us and try and turn this our way.
At least we know there's a chance.
Of course.
You hear beyond the door this kind of humming sound and then a release. Nothing happens immediately.
See the pipe that the leg fell out of from the wind.
You can't. That's in the main room. I mean, you could certainly go to the door and look out if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll take a peek out, see if anything drops out.
Okay,
there.
so you go to the door. No, I'm joking. It's not. You can open the door and take a look out, and you can see just about the edge of the tube or the chute, the metallic chute that leads into the bin. But from this angle, as you look down, you can see there's like a small pile of body parts in there. As you're looking through, though, the door opens from within the waiting room, and in front of you stands someone. Perhaps
Sindri.
familiar to some of you. Yeah, Sindri was him all along. This individual, clearly a high elf, as you can tell, roughly around 6'2", with a very lean build and looms over probably most of the people here. He has this completely white hair, but it looks greyish and colourless rather than this pure white. Gold eyes and skin, but he now has this very pale blue tinge. There are these sickening grey bandages across his right hand and arm, as well as round his neck, and the fingertips of that hand reveal a clue, as the golden skin is in fact a dull grey. This individual is unmistakably the person that was told to you as Aranon, but he does not look the same as the description. There are elements that are now different. This person has very clearly changed. As the door opens, he stands there, and you can see he looks with this intensity, this fiery intensity, and does not blink as he looks across each of you, staring right into your eyes. Hello. I am Aranon of House Emery. Welcome to my factory. Please come inside, let's discuss whatever it is that you're here for. And he turns on his heels and immediately steps into the room.
I'm running the fuck out of the
Smash the window, let's go.
Remind me why we are here.
He knows about psionics.
I guess.
Okay.
Hurry inside or leave!
I go in.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go in, yeah.
Let's not piss him off more than he's already. You're muted, Al.
I think you're muted.
What was his full name?
Aranon.
Aranon of House Emery.
Count kills you lot.
His finger. You said his fingers had gone greyish. Do they look like they're decaying?
Roll me a medicine check.
Oh gosh, medicine.
Yeah.
15?
15. It doesn't look like rot. Rot has a very distinctive look to it. Your gut instinct initially was to think something like frostbite, but the skin is too well intact. It's like the only way that you could really describe it is it's very, very similar to what you saw with this is a real fucking flashback, with the hill giant and the Hydra is almost like a corrupted nature to it.
Like.
Doesn't
Abyssal.
necessarily mean it's draconic. It doesn't mean it's
Abyssal.
Abyssal, sorry, yeah. Demonic is what I was looking for. But it's certainly not like a natural disease.
Looking at his fingertips, is the texture of the skin different to the rest of his skin?
The texture is mostly the same.
It's just the coloration has turned grey.
The coloration is almost like he's gone into grayscale. Someone dumped a grayscale layer over that keyframed part of his arm.
Right.
It's a very
This could be a
niche
bit
joke.
spoilers. Is it like Doctor Strange? If you use the evil book too much, is it sort of like that different coloration? The more grey than black.
Yes, that's probably the best way of kind of like visualizing it. Is it's similar to that, but like it's not obviously gone evil.
Alright.
As you step into the room, once the last of you is in, he waves his hand and the door slams shut, and you watch 4 different bolts slide across the door. Around you can see a luxurious area compared to the rest of the building, with someone clearly having repaired all the structural damage, even down to the chips on the floor. However, despite this, the blue and lilac coloured walls are covered in erratic scrawlings and markings of a madman, continuing well up onto the ceiling. There is a hefty hefty desk made of white wood that sits neatly, almost obsessively so, all the stationery and utensils kept to complete perfection. Glass bottles and syringes line the walls, adorned with plants, pickled body parts and fermenting experiments. And a stellarium... What's that? A mix in the background. A stellarium... Zuko got left outside and you just hear him. The stellarium rug covers the ground, atop which the desk and its similarly coloured chair rest. In one corner of the room, to your left actually as you step through, are these golden and blue sigils that are etched onto the floorboards within this circular pattern, and Storm, you immediately recognise it as being a teleportation circle.
There was a teleportation circle here the whole time.
We would never. I'm not going to talk
You'd
about
have
the
to know
pickled,
it's
the
Pickled
pickled body parts.
That's what
Yeah.
got my reaction over
That's
there.
it, yeah, same.
I've just put offices full of spooky stuff.
When you say body parts, is it like from like humans?
Very small. Roll me a
organs.
medicine check.
Okay.
Eyeballs.
I don't want to be here.
I'm gonna give you disadvantage on this,
Oh.
but specifically because you've never dealt with the medicine of
Yeah.
humans before.
Could have been a 15, that's a 5.
However, what I'll say is I'll mix the bag here. So it's specifically, you don't know if it's humans. However, the proportion does look humanoid.
Okay.
Especially like you see an eye that floats in some brine that kind of like drifts towards you as you're looking at it. It kind of like bobs towards you in the water and looks at you. And that is unmistakably some kind of humanoid eye.
What colour is it?
What colour is the eye? I mean, it's a little discoloured in the brine because it's slightly greenish. But you could probably estimate that it's probably like a bluish colour, maybe. It's a little difficult to ascertain. You'd have to take it out.
Oh.
Odds on.
Odds on, you eat the eye.
Eyeballs.
Odds on someone attacking. Yeah?
Yeah, has Aranon like sat down at a desk or something? I don't know if I missed that part.
He hadn't. I had just described him coming in. As he steps through, though, you can see him like pick up a quill, and he begins like finishing off something on the wall. And so you all kind of like stand there
Deeply
awkwardly.
uncomfortable.
Can we read what is written
Yeah, I
on
was
the
going to say
wall?
that.
Or is it like...
Okay. Who can read Stellarian?
Me.
Oh,
do I have
hang on.
Those of you that can
mean,
read
No,
Stellarian,
that was
honestly, just be
Val'Aeria.
trying.
those of you that read Stellarian can tell that it is Stellarian. The scripture is Stellarian. However, the sentences are things like, she ran and picked a rose and then burnt it so that she could have a lovely warm bath, and like ridiculous nonsense sentences.
Oh, no.
Like, surely it must be a code, right? It must be a code.
Surely.
On the entire time.
But these are like the scrawlings of a madman, as far
Yeah,
as you
I
can
am
tell.
clocking him
It's,
the entire time we're in here.
It's Aranon stream journal.
I'll like, look around the room. You have a delightfully foreign collection. I am blown away.
It's one way of putting it.
Trying to be as kind and like
That's-
flattering. It must have taken oneself many, many years to collect such oddities.
You can see he pauses for a moment, turns his head towards you as he kind of like holds the quill up and kind of throws his hand, and it drifts through the air back into the exact location it was on the desk. I'm sure you'll make a fine collection.
Excuse me?
Oh, nothing.
A little joke to break the ice, perhaps? Yes?
Oh my god.
What have you
What have
come
we done?
here for?
We wanted to.
To purchase some of my effects?
We were actually hoping to talk to you. We understand that you are a very knowledgeable man.
He steps forward immediately. You can see this kind of grin that's been growing across his face drops in a second to one of just like exasperation as he steps over towards you, and with the bandaged hand, he just goes to grab your chin, Eridel.
I put my hand on my blade.
Danger!
Calm down.
Yeah.
Hands like,
And then he kind of like leans in, but in this like looking way, he is observing you. Your face is so familiar.
Perhaps you might know my mother. Belinda?
She lives.
She's alive, yes.
And you must be her offspring.
Yes.
Tell me, can you manifest?
Yes, I can.
It worked! Third generation. It worked.
Oh no.
It was a success.
So you're the one.
Do you know what you are?
A psionic.
Yes, but so much more. So much more, dear gal.
Explain what you mean by that.
You are perfection. You are the future. Yes.
I think he means he's the splicer that married that thing in your head with your brain.
I know what he's talking about. This is what we wanted to talk to you about.
I see.
In our travels, we have found that in perhaps a matter of days, there are going to be illithids rising from the surface and attacking our world. We were hoping that you might be able to help us due to your expertise.
Can I see if he looks excited by the?
Yeah, sure. Roll me an insight check.
There's
I'll
honestly.
join that as well.
this guy's cuckoo.
Because there's always
If he's
Should
trying
buy
to
him
hide
Anaconda.
anything, or if he's just trying to be. No.
I mean, yeah, with those rolls, I mean, you can tell that he's having a reaction to it, but he's so erratic at the moment, you're not sure what means what. Like, he's jumping from emotion to another. He heard what was said. Can at least know that he's acknowledged it.
So are you able to help us?
You wish to learn from me about what I know?
With your permission, of course.
Invasion. How very curious and unlike them.
How about you skip to the part where you tell us about them? If that's unlike them.
Shh. I'm thinking. Dreaming.
Should we sit?
He just seems to be kind of like, at the moment, in a bit of a world of his own, kind of fading in and out of, like, listening to you.
So,
And he starts to mutter under his breath. He's like, oh, this is so curious. And he just begins to like pace around the room in a circle, just going around you, and then round the desk, and then back round, and then stops,
let him out of my
turns,
sight.
and walks an equal number of times back round.
I'm gonna kind of like lean over to Arya and be like, they were scared of this guy.
I mean, he's making me very nervous. On. Are we interrupting something?
Ah. No, I was postulating.
Do you think you'd care to share?
A good scientist never gives his secrets away.
That's what you
Oh, but come on! We have traveled so far to come and see you.
street
I think-
magicians mixed up.
I think that you would very much like to tell us anything you know about illicit weaknesses, and I'm gonna cast suggestion.
Well, I was thinking
Oh.
the same
Alright.
thing.
Alright.
What?
Hey.
Okay, so let's make a what?
Wait. Oh, balls.
No,
A
but the
wisdom save,
verbal
right?
part of the spell, I'm going to assume, is the saying of the suggestion.
Yes, that's what I believe
Yeah.
it is as well, yeah.
So I'm going to say, yeah, you want to tell us about their weaknesses, don't you?
Okay,
It is
so
a
it's a
sorry,
wisdom,
yes,
right?
sorry. I think it is. Let me just check.
I believe it's a wisdom. It's like a. I'm gonna assume it is a wisdom.
Yes, wisdom saving throw. I have to beat a 17.
Okay, it is a type of charm, right?
Oh.
Oh,
It
fuck.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So he gets advantage because he is an elf. You would know that he's an elf. So I'm not gonna hide
No,
that.
I'm committed to it.
Wow. On one of them he did roll a natural 1, but
Oh.
the other one, nah. That is gonna be a 25.
Ow! This man's probably level 16.
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a
Wow.
try.
I mean,
Man,
we
you
were
kill
level
us all.
12 when we played as him, right?
Ooh, so eager. But it has been such a long time since I've talked to anyone. You! And he immediately looks towards you, Storm, and like walks up with a brisk pace right towards you. You understand? You're a man of logic.
Please, don't lump me in with you.
But we are the same.
No, we are far from the same.
I see the knowledge strapped to your side. You are a man of science as well.
I'm a man of the arcane, not of experiments and science.
They're all the same.
I don't deal in the same kind of experimentation.
He turns away from you. He seems to have lost interest right at that last second. Kind of paces again.
This guy's nuts.
Yes. I have a condition. I want to see them with my own eyes. I have spent my whole life studying these perfect forms. I must see them
Well-
myself before they are destroyed.
There'll be plenty to go around.
And
Help us?
if you agree to help us, we actually have some corpses that you might want to investigate.
Corpses are nothing. There's no more I can learn from them.
Well,
If you're suggesting you want one alive, then that's not going to happen.
Well,
Aye.
we don't know that. If they rise to the surface, there is a chance that we capture one and try to study it.
It's not good enough to keep one alive. I wish to be there. I wish to join your presumed defeat of them.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
I'm
I'm gonna
Insight in that
insight that as
motherfucker.
well.
Even I'm gonna. Mine's shit.
Yeah. I definitely
Yeah,
would.
same.
The way he said join made me very nervous. I was like,
14.
Okay, alright, yeah, you got some good insight checks here. So, I mean, with a 29 and 22 as a bit of a standard there from Alistair and Eridel, I'd say that both of you certainly, there is an undeniable air of excitement there. What I think you'd gauge is that he seems to be implying that he's summed up that you probably are here to find, I mean, you already said about how to kill it and all these things, that you are here to find a weakness to destroy it, to destroy the Illithid. And you get the impression that he wants to be there when you do so. He wants to
Witness history.
yes. It's probably the best way of describing it.
if you're willing to put your life at risk, then we cannot stop.
My life is already at risk.
How are you in a fight?
I can hold my own.
Alright, if you can hold your own, why don't we make a deal? We're here to find out the information on the Illithids, where they might come up off the ground, their weaknesses and how they work. If you're willing to share that information, we might be willing to help you, or have you help us in a forthcoming conflict. We need to know the information for this to work. I don't like that.
Yes. You allow me to be there at the end, and I will tell you everything I know from the beginning.
Do we have a deal?
I turn to the rest of the group and it will just be like, can we discuss a minute?
Yes, time out for a Carta, please. Hello.
Do you want psionic whispers?
He might be.
But
Did
this
you say
guy.
that? Do you say that out loud?
I'm gonna kind of mumble it.
I try my best to mumble back. Would he be able to eavesdrop on that?
He doesn't have abilities himself. My mother said so, and it doesn't seem like he can. Well, he obviously knew that. I don't know.
But it seems a lot has changed since your mother knew him.
It's true. Anyway,
And-
what did we?
I'm gonna spread my wings out,
Guys,
pull everyone into a huddle.
This guy has been experimenting clearly on innocent people.
And
Do we
himself.
want to help him?
He's helping us more than we're helping him.
Oh,
But Arya, what choice do we have? We have a fountain of knowledge right here.
I know. I don't know if I like the idea of helping someone who's been experimenting on people.
Yeah, Arya,
I don't like
I
it
find
either.
it icky too, but think about how many innocent people will die if we don't have this information.
Besides, it's not like that. It's not like he has amnesty forever. If he is up to something, we deal with it later.
We don't have to like him.
I don't like it any more than you do, Arya, either, but I think we're pressed for this choice.
He's just clearly fucking bonkers as well. He probably won't
Keep
tell
your
us
voice
anything.
down, he's right there.
I am keeping my voice down.
If he
I'm using
doesn't tell us
stage whispers.
And if he doesn't tell us anything, we won't have him there. Unless he tells us first, and then we go from there.
As long as when he gets to Deep Bay, there's constant watch on him, it's fine.
I don't think that
That could be arranged.
I don't think Theodore would want him running amok in the city.
That being said, I think it may be a good idea to limit his interactions with your mother.
Yes, that is
Yes.
a good idea.
I don't like the idea of the two of them being in the same room, personally.
Just
Yes.
really quickly, while this conversation is happening, and there's like whispers, and we're kind of concealed a little bit from him, I just want to cast Detect Magic.
You're muted.
You're muted.
As you cast it, you can see the sigils on the ground are magical. That's transmutation.
Where does it go?
Where does it go?
Where does it go?
Then I would say, I mean, on his person, you get, I guess it'd be evocation, maybe.
What was that?
On evocation from a holster on his side, which you take to probably be a wand of some kind. Evocation magic. Other than that, not much else.
Surprising.
Other than what you'd expect from your companions.
Okay.
There is also another option, but it would take more time.
What's the other option?
Snooping around in his stuff. Seeing if he knows anything.
I really
Notes.
think that he is going to leave here at any point with us alone in his office.
We have ways.
I'm just saying, he doesn't seem like someone who is easily persuaded, not because he's stubborn, but because you can't talk to him.
Insane.
Or somebody that organizes their work in something that's not made of meat.
Storm, do you still have that eye up?
I didn't even put
Never
it
did
up.
it.
Oh, yeah, it said...
Are we agreeing to this?
With conditions.
I would
Yes,
say for now.
I agree
Right.
with conditions.
Like I said, if he's up to anything, we can always come back and deal with him later.
It's an option.
So, what do you do?
Come out of the huddle.
Alright. At this point, as you turn around, you can see he's back to scrawling on the wall.
We are accepting with this is one very simple condition that you must abide by.
Very quickly, sorry.
Anything.
While Storm is talking to him, I just want to see if I can do an insight check to see if he was listening in on us while we were talking.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, 24, boy.
Wow, 24. Alright. He's certainly not... If he did hear you, he's not reacting to it. But when he turned around, you kind of get the impression he was probably very honed in on what he was doing. He wasn't actually listening to you. You've been getting the impression every so often that he has a very, very limited attention span. And like once he finds you boring, he's like he cuts you out. He doesn't care anymore.
He cuts you out. Sorry.
That's helping. That's helping right now. Yep.
I had to. I'm sorry.
There is to be no experimentations on anybody. You are there to be a perceiver, as you wish. To perceive it.
Advisor.
Take notes all you like. There's nothing wrong with that. But no experimentation on people. You dig around in the corpses of the illithid for all we care. That's fine. Just leave the people be.
Very well. I can make that agreement. Though you should know, I do not experiment on anyone without their consent. Anyway.
Insight check that. Insight checking that.
Yeah, go on. Go ahead.
Press X to doubt.
In a world where you can get consent via spells, that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, that's
as you
what I
insight
mean.
it, you get the impression he's telling you absolutely the truth, and you, because I mean he's a spellcaster himself, and he can clearly see that you guys have that degree as well, and you get the impression he's not even insinuating through like manipulation through magic. Like you believe he really does mean that people agree by their own genuine consent to be experimented on.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice one, Maya.
Well
Well
You
done.
create a monster.
I did. Which is the
And
worst
I
worst
wait till we
person
get
I
to
can
the other
think of.
What? The other one? Which other one?
So that's a deal then. He'll tell us everything you know?
Yes.
Please.
I will tell you everything.
Will you come with us back to Deep Bay then?
What, are we going now?
Well, we haven't got any other reason to stay here, no?
I
See
suppose
what
not.
he knows first.
If you give me a moment, Aranon, you don't mind if I points at the circle. Take a little sketch of this, in case you need bringing back.
In the honor of friendship, be my guest.
Okay, take out my
Dream of the unsettled.
Take a sketch of the runes from the circle.
Alright, you can say circle to Aranon's factory.
Okay. I think we should see what he knows first before bring him back with us.
Yes. Perhaps
So-
you got the taste of the information you have to offer.
Sorry, say that again.
Perhaps you would be willing to give us a sample of the information that you're willing to offer.
It is a long story. Best told at once.
Please go on.
You wish to hear now?
Y-
It sounded like you wanted to leave.
I think it's best we hear it now.
Yes.
Very well. To truly understand what I know, and for you to comprehend it as well, we must start at the beginning. And that's where we're going to take our break. Hello, welcome back. So, before the break, Ferra Carta, you had landed with your teleport in, supposedly, Val'Aeria, and followed some tracks up towards Factory. You were approached by the guards there, and upon stating that you were here to meet with Aranon, they did indeed lead you inside, and you got to meet with the man himself. However, he did not fit all of the description, or should I say, there are a few things that were clearly left out, or had changed since Belinda had last seen him. And in his mad scrawlings, he indicated that he could give you some information, but as long as you allowed him to be there for this potential final confrontation, to see history being made and to be perhaps the first person to witness whatever, well, clearly he's leaving something out. And that is where we pick up, as Aranon says to you, we must start from the beginning. Many centuries ago, the Golden Empire began to expand its borders and seek further knowledge and understanding. And that pursuit of mysteries led to the Underdark and to confrontation with the Zeudiel. Within this landscape, we came upon a new form of life, one that posed a substantial threat. We labeled them Illithid, a term that actually derives from the Zeudiel themselves. Its closest translation to your tongues, psionic or mind ruler. The first encounter with one was with an expedition team who came upon a corpse of one of these life forms, and little did they know that their fortune was on their side. The corpse was returned to us for study for the former Arcane Foundation, of which I used to be a part of. The corpse was reanimated for experimentation. Fortunately, the essence of the creatures is lost upon death, therefore pose no real threat. But we did not know that at the time. It still held on to its basic psionic capabilities, and it gave us much to research. I put in for a grant to expand my team and research, to which the Foundation agreed, and we began preparations for live study. We knew from initial research that their mental dominance and lust for control were inherent to their being. The Foundation funded a full commission of enchanted circlets to protect the next expedition, and sent live bait into an illithid trap. I'm informed, however, that the schematics of these tools are vaulted away, much like my entire life's work. However, now prepared, the expedition returned with captive specimens. Through our experimentation, we were able to deduce much about their anatomy, social structure, and life cycle, to name but a few. The Illithid have 3 stages of development, and each holds a vital role in ensuring their abilities enhance and develop. It is important to note that Illithid, they are sexless and do not reproduce through biological sex. Instead, they are prone to secreting a school of tadpole-like creatures once or twice in their life cycle. And he begins to pace around the room again. It's almost like he's completely forgotten that you're there. He's muttering to himself again, almost like he's reliving his experiences and experiments. These tadpoles require containment in brine water, though they have the capability to survive outside of this environment for a short period of time. Whilst kept in this brine liquid, they are tended to by caretaker drones that provide cerebral matter for ingesting. However, we noticed, having collected some of our own from an illithid producing them, that despite substantial feeding, the schools would engage in rabid cannibalism until only a few remained. When reaching a stage of maturity, the tadpole is then taken and during a ceremony-like event placed within a living creature's brain. For some time, we believed that the process was contained to just humanoids. However, it appears that the illithid confliction can be applied to most living beings. As such, we concluded that Illithid prefer humanoids for their similar physical resemblance and expanded mental capabilities, better faring for their psionic changes. Once inside, usually through forced entry via the ear, eye, or nose, the Illithid tadpole latches onto the brain, biting deep, and begins to secrete transformative enzymes that begin to alter the host. After a period of days, seldom more than 8, the host undergoes an excruciating but quickened transformation into an Illithid. This process was called ceramorphosis. At this stage, the Illithid resembles a humanoid, though presents a slick and spongy purple surface with tentacled faces. Their psionic capabilities expand greatly and are able to dominate minds. Without cannibalism to feed them, their insatiable hunger turns towards the brains of other creatures. Initially, we believed it was the physical nutrients of the brains that the Illithid required, but we noticed that they almost never fed on animals presented to them, only when truly desperate. Later research concluded it was in fact the psionic or natural energy within the mind that they fed on. This has been disputed, as it certainly seems like a more abstract idea, but it was the obvious conclusion of the facts. In this stage, the social hierarchy comes into view. Much like a beehive, each drone has a job or specialty, usually in the ways of research. The Foundation did not appreciate my comparisons to the Foundation itself and other research institutions. Some drones, as mentioned earlier, feed the tadpoles, others act as psionic guards, others as researchers. What I found fascinating was just how specialized and niche they can be. Some research drones' entire roles were to study the colloquial languages of the Zodiel. In time, I began to realize that whilst these creatures were extremely dangerous, they might be the greatest library of knowledge the world has ever seen. Finally, there is a third and final stage. Seldom do Illithid reach this stage, and little is known in great detail. Firstly, the existence of this stage was theorized by the hive-like reflections. As a hive mind, capable of holding vast amounts of information, something would have to organize and traffic that information. Pieces regarding the focal point were hard to crack, as it was locked deep within the minds, usually being lost upon intrusion. What we could learn was that at some point in an Illithid's adult life cycle, there is a chance for a mutation to happen. What causes this is unknown, but it transforms the Illithid into a much more powerful entity, capable of creating its own hive.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it would become so powerful that it no longer required a human form, instead releasing itself into a single brain entity. Given the rarity and the age of Illithid achieving this state, it was humorously dubbed the Elder Brain. Using everything we'd learned, we came up with a hypothesis. Illithids could be combined with humanoid minds. But if ceramorphosis was not completed successfully, the tadpole would become subservient to the host brain. And we began our research, attempting to insert tadpoles into the minds of test subjects. Many failed, but subject 0431 was our first success, and as the tadpole became subservient to her unconscious mind, we believe it could be done. That is what I know of
And
the Illithid.
you mentioned an elder brain? You have tangible proof that these exist?
Tangible?
Or had?
No. No.
It's just a theory.
It was a theory, but one that all the facts seem to conclude.
So, if that was in fact the case, to kill an elder brain would kill a hive?
It is the core of their hive mind. There's a chance that some would survive, but the loss of their central command unit would send them into disarray like an insect colony without its queen.
So
I should warn you, though, Illithid cannot be defeated in normal war. They reproduce quickly, and the larger the enemy army, the more likely it is they'll be dominated. The only way to win would be to kill the entity controlling them.
So, if we kill the Elder Brain, then our problem's solved for the most part.
We have had a vision of a creature with orange eyes, large in stature, somewhere in a watery cavern. It is certainly linked to the Illithid, but it was not a brain. Have you heard of such a thing?
What was your description again? I just want to hear it one more time.
A creature with 3 orange eyes in a watery cave. Large. Didn't look like a brain.
Very curious. What you're describing does not sound like our hypothesis. Instead, it sounds like an ancient aboriginal creature. Have you heard of an aboleth before?
Can I have a... I think I've got Aboleth written in my notes, and I feel like I wouldn't
I
have
think someone's already
mentioned the name
about
Aboleth.
Gorilla said
potentially
Aboleth.
being an
Yeah, because I wouldn't have written the word Aboleth if we didn't know it was an Aboleth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have been told.
We've
Well, we
heard the name. Sorry, you
Was
guys.
I there when you found this out?
No, I don't think so.
I must not have been there either for that one.
It was when we entered the hive. Aurilla and I we stood on the outside while they infiltrated. The thing you described, that Aurilla mentioned, it sounds like the thing you're mentioning. Yes, an aboleth. Little more is known.
Are there any links between the two? Typically?
Beyond their mutual psionic abilities, no. Illithid and Aboleth are two distinct creatures.
They don't seem as if they'd work in tandem. Maybe compete. Do you not think? Why would this be connected?
I could not tell you. Even more fascinating.
You obviously know what. Sorry, let me phrase this right. You've had successful test subjects before, more than one, yes?
Yes.
Was my mother one of those test subjects?
In a manner of speaking, perhaps. That is a different story.
The reason I ask is if you know of others with these capabilities, perhaps you might be able to answer this question. We were able to see the aboleth through psionic abilities, is it possible to be able to track the location of the Elder Brain using psionic abilities? At one point, the tadpole that resides in my mind was connected to the hive.
Oh.
And what was the outcome of such a connection?
Well, a sort of split personality. Sometimes it would take control of my body and act as the hive would see fit. But I've
Fascinating.
managed to get it under control now.
Despite its amalgamation with your own mind, it still was capable of preserving its dominance until it needed to. An unexpected result.
Would we be able to track the Elder Brain?
Or this aboleth creature.
You say you connected with it once. Psionic abilities are still a experimental arcane field. But from what I know, hive mind abilities require an agreement to connect. If your gift is, as you say, under control once again, it is likely that the hive mind will reject your intrusion. However, perhaps if you had something connected to the Elder Brain itself, something from its location, you could potentially track or even teleport.
We do. We
We-
do. And I reach into
do?
the bag of holding and bring out the illithid head.
Oh,
Will that be enough?
That would be more difficult. It is still a humanoid. It could work. It depends on its connection. Where did it fall?
It fell, not... Oh, it fell on the surface.
Sternstead.
David.
We have also seen the location, right? Vaguely.
In the vision.
It looked to be underground, covered in water.
Unless that was just what it wanted us to see. Doesn't necessarily mean it looks like that.
Oh my god. Okay.
That was a lot to take in.
In your research of liffid hunting and gathering specimens, did you learn of any particular hunting spots that were easy to gather them, i.e. entrances to the upper worlds that they could enter through, mainly in the Restless Coast?
No. My research was conducted in stellar lapses. Our theory is that there are more than one single hive. It is likely that which I researched on myself is disconnected from the one that you seem to fear.
What happens if two hives meet? Just curious.
Are they territorial?
Well, I would assume, much like an insect colony, that they would attempt to kill the other.
What can you tell us about Gith? Have you ever met Gith before? Creatures of the astral planes. Do you have any knowledge on them?
Yes, a little. When we conducted our cognitive research on the illithid, there were layers and memories of vicious fighters, of yellowed orange skin and brown spots, almost elven in appearance, but not like us. They feared them, but also believed superiority. Like a pet that is running amok in one's home.
As it seems to be the leader of the hive mind, would the elder brain would it be wise to say that the elder brain would be located in the middle of wherever they reside?
It is likely to be very protected, just as a king here on your little coast is protected by guards and walls.
Perhaps Jala might be able to find something.
Razazan could be a shot in the dark.
What we're looking for, though.
Sorry, Aranon, could you turn down your machine? It's very noisy.
I'm really fucking trying to. I've turned down every bit and it's not
like
turning it off. I
That's
don't
it,
know
on my end.
what it is.
You've got aircon in here, Arizona.
Sorry, it helps with the smell of corpses.
Oh,
Why hasn't it been on the
Aircon?
whole time?
It is.
Forbidden.
Your lands are freezing and inhospitable.
These are not my
so much to consider.
Yes, we've learned quite a bit.
We figured out all we need to do is somehow get to the elder brain, destroy it, and that'll make at least defeating them a lot easier.
Ron, how much on the ground experience researching them do you have? Or was it more observed back in the lab?
I am a scientist, not a scout.
Ooh, immobilize them for you.
Say that again.
Ooh, immobilize them for you.
Mobilized, not immobilized.
Immobilized. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what I said.
Specific scouting parties as commissioned by the Arcane Foundation. Or late Arcane Foundation.
The point I was trying to work around to is if we were to take you on an expedition to the Underdark, would you be of assistance in tracking down the signs of an elder brain?
I believe I could, yes.
interesting point to note.
But aimlessly searching such a vast connection of caverns would be fruitless. By the time you found them, this invasion likely would have already come to its end.
I have one location in mind.
You do?
Wait, Aria, you were able to somewhat scry, weren't you?
That's what I did, yes.
It might be a long shot, but do you think you would be able to scry on the Elder Brain with the Illithid's head? At least find a location. Whereas that's not how it works.
I don't quite know how I did it, but I just know that I did it.
I believe Sindri helped you to do it.
Oh, wait.
True, and we were in a very special kind of room. He had like a floating crystal
Wait.
and some
Oh,
people.
yes.
One moment. Aranon, if you don't mind me prying, these experiments that you did on, I'm presuming, elven subjects, were they signed off by the Empire? Did they agree to allow you to experiment on people?
Yes, it was allowed, as you say. The point of my initial finding of the Illithid and commissioning of research upon them was to find and understand new modes of arcane manipulation.
So, if you don't mind my asking, why exactly were you exiled from the Empire? It's just that if we are to teleport back, and where we're teleporting to, there might be some tensions, and I'm going to kind of like direct that to the rest of the group.
To tell you that, I will have to finish my story.
Oh.
There's more?
What I told you was the beginning of my research. The beginnings of the merging.
Please continue.
After our successful attempt on subject 0431, we discovered that its success was part due to her damaged frontal lobe, where she had lessened connection to emotions, and the tadpole associated it with the elder brain. As such, we began psychological profiling of all potential subjects. Eventually, the process was perfected after a period of trials using various humanoids intended for punishment. Though, after every successful trial, the subject was terminated on the order of the Arcane Foundation. With the process now working, I was tasked with enacting the surgery on the team, the first real subjects. During the first surgery, there was a mishap. Ceramorphosis began. It killed the subject and left me scarred. The Arcane Foundation demanded the entire project be shut down. But my colleagues and I were not dissuaded by the loss of by one of our own. Before they could empty our labs, I performed the surgery again and again and again. Only one of my male colleagues survived. The rest took to the surgery. Those of us left made a pact to protect the sanctity of our psionic skills. Though our research was shut down and our reputations disgraced, the Foundation would not openly excommunicate us. We were left to our own. The male survivor, Belor, of House Val'Aeria, opened his house to me. The other researchers, as the only outsider aware of their newfound powers, I could test and research in ways they could not. Over time, it became clear to me how superior they were. I learned their powers were unique reflections of their personality and mindfulness, prone to change. It was then that they began to reproduce, that I truly began to see the results of our great creation. Their children, bred among them, were born capable of similar psionic ability, though in need of honing and training. Once again, we noted the male offspring fell to the tadpole, or what they began calling the gift. Now part of their minds born together. But the females, they thrived. It became clear to me that not only were the females better suited to the tadpole, but they themselves were the center of the lineage, with the gift being passed down through a matriarchal line. And then the dark day came. Someone had been spying on us, reported the entire community to the court. Almost immediately, a law forbidding psionics was passed, and Belor aided in helping the group flee. But in order for protection, we were to separate. The court was fast, however, and some were caught. Ardoth, the mother of small Belinda and Nilo, was killed. Hoping to save the others, Belor gave himself up and was taken away. His trial, notes he was executed on the spot, but I still believe he is alive. After that we separated, and I did not see them again. And until today I was unsure if any had survived. But Belinda, she did, and she created you, piece of perfection. It just goes silent.
Did Mitch?
Never mind.
What were you gonna say?
No, it's just a joke.
Oh.
Just to break the tension.
So, my grandmother was killed by the Empire.
Executed on the spot, yes. For simply having skills they feared.
Is every kingdom ruled by fear? Seems to be the common trend.
What happened to you after that? You didn't have the procedure, did you?
I did not. I had to sacrifice myself. None others were able to take on the procedure. And by the time I had finished the others, there was no time left before the lab was raided. I have come to my realization that I shall forever sit in the position of a god who watches his creations, seldom or never to join in, to be part of them. That is my role.
I am trying so hard not to make a Spy Kids joke.
What the fuck is the Spy Kids joke?
It's
Yeah,
like it's where he
that's it,
goes,
it's
you
like
think that God lives in heaven because he lives in fear of what he
Yeah,
created.
what we did.
Oh.
Information.
Clarify one other thing for me. You mentioned the husband of Nelor, you believe may still be alive?
Belor, you said.
Belor.
Hello, yes. The one male survivor.
Belor. Why do you think he's alive?
The Empire are prone to misleading and lying on official documents if required. I think they would keep him alive,
For what?
and I believe it.
Well, it's no secret that they like to keep secrets. You're right. Yes, they will do anything to save themselves. And if they think there's something to gain out of it, like using this Belor as a mode of research and weaponry, they will. It's not out of their ethics.
Perhaps they seek to use him to track the others down.
How many were there?
Many. Oh, I had the wrong list in front of me.
Many. Alright.
Cool.
I mean,
In the hundreds? Many? In the...
no. Like, he would. I mean, he's gonna give you a number of like between like 10 and 20, including the children. But the thing is, like, I need to check who's like how many survived. So he'll give you like it's like a small community.
So, I potentially have 10 to 20 aunts or uncles.
Damn,
I have a big family.
that's a big family.
I don't think the implication was they were necessarily related. I think it was they may have all gone for the same procedure.
Huh. My mother never told me any of this.
Some secrets are important to keep until you can be sure that they're needed.
Oh my god, I've just realised what my mother is doing.
You said that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Pray do tell.
Yes.
Trying to get the band back together, I'm guessing.
She has an arrangement with Theodore.
Please, in layman terms.
She told me that I was an experiment. That my father, not being elven, was an experiment. Theodore is not elven either, and she has a marital arrangement with him.
She's still experimenting.
Who's got a baby?
It doesn't sound like a good baby.
I think it's a myth.
What the fuck is that noise?
It sounds like a dog.
Yes,
Whoever
it's
it
someone getting strangled to me.
Tell them to die quietly.
I told you, I'm home alone with the fucking puppies, and they're on my bed going crazy.
Oh, I see.
I thought I could hear
I
them.
sent a video in the group chat.
I can't find them. They're gone. Look at my mess.
They vanished. Where have
They heard
Were they
us
ever
and were like, shit, code red.
I've
You turn the camera back round and they're just behind you.
What if they're blink dogs? They're blink dogs.
The blink dogs. No, they're just annoying dogs. One of them sounds like feral. Sorry.
It's all good. I was just like, what the hell is that?
Anyway, my mum's trying to fuck Theodore so that she can have a weird baby with him.
A weird devil baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Well,
A devil?
Oh god. Gods.
Oh,
figure of speech. These are
Val'Aeria, whatever his fucking name is.
She means figuratively.
These are politics.
Roll me a
Yes.
deception check.
I like how we just kind of, oh, this guy's crazy. We can say what we want in front of him.
No one's gonna believe him anyway.
Fine. We'll just kill him if he does.
Yeah,
if there's-
yeah.
or just kill him.
That's not.
You can certainly try.
That's not helpful.
that's a triple one.
Triple one, yeah. Cyclops snake.
He just starts laughing.
Do we have everything we need? I don't want to be here for much longer. It's creeping me out.
Yes, let's go back to Theodore.
I've got one more question. You said that the Golden Empire might be hunting the remaining people down, yes?
Perhaps, yes.
If that's true, then how are you able to stay off their radar? I mean, if we were able to find you, I'm pretty sure people in the Golden Empire would have been able to by now.
Their lore is difficult, for I do not have psionic abilities. And there are many diplomatic and political preventions.
Sorry.
Where we're taking you may, if you have a recognizable face, you may want to hide it. There are people that work for the Empire in Deep Bay.
Deep Bay is one of the only locations here on the coast that the Empire has any true diplomatic relations with. They will not risk their immunity. Shall we go?
Don't like the how we.
I look forward to this experience.
Oh God.
I don't see any other reason to stay here.
Is your factory going to be alright without you here?
Yes, I have people to do what's needed.
I must ask, whilst we're on the topic, what do you do? Like, what is this?
What is your
I was curious about that as well, actually.
We make money.
Make money by
Okay.
By generating wealth.
in exchange for. Just because you did mention when we first came, if we was interested in your other services, I just was wondering what those services are.
services, goods. We make money.
We are very well aware what commerce is, but what is your
Trade.
Trade. What is your
Trade.
trade?
what do you?
I was waiting to see if anyone got the Sunny reference. To
Yeah, I
the
did.
right?
We make
I
money.
didn't get it. No.
They didn't make that joke in the booth.
I need a lot of money. Me needing a lot of money. Money me.
we make things to help people.
And I am sure you know that we must have noticed. What are the body parts in the bin for?
Yes.
For my experiments.
Have you?
That everyone consented to. Yes.
You've changed lanes from the psionic research in the the recent years.
My hand has been forced. Yes.
Of course. I'm only asking as
Funny pun.
I don't want to be here.
I don't
anymore.
think I have the context to understand why that is funny.
Kind of like looks down and kind of like moves his arm around a little bit, the grade one.
Purely because, of course, what you're doing here could be helpful for our cause.
I have a question.
You have many,
Mm.
do you not?
You forced so many to come up.
People consent to having their
Limbs removed.
yes.
Yes.
Why?
Why does anyone do anything?
Perhaps we should have a conversation. What do you think
Yeah.
consent
Not,
is? Do you understand the concept of consent?
Also, choosing to
Are you
eat...
attempting to insult my intellect?
I said you may not what you will.
Point
I
to the
feel like
room.
that is a sensitive subject, so maybe stay clear of that.
I think what Kensei's trying to say that is if you made someone a cup of tea and they said they wanted a cup of tea.
Stop.
Well, that's just
Yep.
Do
Yep.
people
I do love tea.
do people just volunteer?
Yes.
What about the workers in the factory?
Get from it.
My workers here work for coin. They require food for their families, heat for their homes, and they work for me.
So, what exactly is the exchange rate? Give 5 gold for a hand, or what?
I'm still stuck on this. You said that why does anybody do anything, but eating a sandwich is very different to giving up a limb. How do you find these people? Do you pay their
How do you eat
families?
sandwiches without
How
hands?
does this work?
If I told you that I could save your father from a painful death, what would you give for that?
I see where
What would you give for that?
I see where this is going.
I'm assuming the answer is almost
When
anything.
mothers bring their children to ensure their future, they willingly enroll themselves. There is no force, just a choice. A choice made by them.
Do you rule this area?
What a very human way of thinking.
Okay, well, explain the album concept to me.
I live and work here, and people choose to serve.
What about those that don't choose?
Then they are never here in the first place.
So people have the choice to leave if they want to.
They make the choice to come.
I'm assuming your workers are citizens of Val'Aeria. They live around this area.
Unfortunately, the citizens of Val'Aeria failed long ago.
Okay.
So,
Just run out of
Another-
citizens.
question.
Assuming because people are signing up for death.
If you said the workers work for you, what happens if they make a mistake or disobey you?
Nobody disobeys.
Okay.
Say
What if
someone would, though. What would you do? Hypothetically speaking.
Discipline.
You've never had to do that before.
Are you interested in becoming an employee here?
I'm interested in who I'm planning to work with in the future to help save the coast.
I don't care to know much more about the rest of you. And I am content to leave my personal history where it is. Are we leaving? Oh no.
Yes, let's
No
go.
more questions.
We will have to leave the facility. I have this location warded from teleportation.
Oh, I see.
Unless you desire to be fried or disintegrated.
There's do not appear.
Quicker than Ceramorphosis, or whatever it is you call it.
Let us go then.
Let's move, yes.
You can see he kind of writes himself up, begins to walk around the room and kind of collects a few just little important things and places them into a satchel on his side. Kind of throws around a black cloak, which is pretty dirty on the sides, and flicks his hand as the door opens. What are you going to do?
Are we teleporting?
Assume so.
We need to teleport
We-
out of
We
the
need to-
city.
If I may point out, are we going straight back to Deep Zone?
Sindri's tower, where we have the meeting with
Yeah.
the Voivort, right? That's soon.
This is my point. Won't we be dragging a known? I know we've already talked about this, but we'll be walking him literally right past Sindri.
I suggest we send messages to both Sindri and Theodore to let them know that he's coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Storm, have you got any spell slots, or is this on me?
Let's see.
If not, I can do both.
I can send one.
I will send it to Sindri, you can send it to Theodore, or vice versa.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait until I'm outside of his disintegration dome before I do the sending.
Alright. So you begin to walk out as you pass by the gates. You can see everyone kind of like looks at him and like keeps their eyes on their work. They do not look as he walks by. And as he's like walking down, he walks past someone, kind of stops for a second, and he takes a single step backwards and just takes his finger and places it underneath the chin of this this young man. Looks to be in his early 20s. Yes, I think I'll have you scheduled next. And then continues to walk.
What did he say? Have you scheduled?
And heads on out.
What is the guy's reaction to that?
I missed that.
Just kind of nods his head and then gets back
Is there
to
a
work.
pool of urine by his feet now?
I mean, yeah, fuck it. You've got pretty good perception. I'm not going to waste the time rolling it. Yeah, you can smell a hint of urine and small dampness on his undercloth. Okay. With that, out the doors and through the compound and out through the gates, you begin to walk across the the clearing, I meant, to try and get out of range. You wanted to send your spells?
Yeah, I'll do Sindri. I'll be Sindri, Alistair here. We've talked to how do you pronounce his name again?
Aranon.
Aranon. He's coming back with us to Deep Bay. Please keep an eye on him. So he doesn't do anything. Absence to...
Alright. I see your investigation was a success there. My, you are resourceful. But I'm not a babysitter. Look after him yourself.
He does really.
Will do. Thanks, Sindri. Fuck you.
I'm so tempted to say something like that back.
Is that it, or are you messaging anyone else?
I'm gonna message Theodore.
We coming. We've got a homicidal maniac coming your way.
That's the equivalent of being like one of the cops and saying, "We're bringing in Hannibal Lecter. Keep an eye on him," and then being like, "Ah, fuck it, take care of him." Take care of yourself.
Hi, Theodore. We've located Aranon, an acquaintance of Belinda. Useful for the upcoming battle. Very questionable. We will watch, but could use your eyes too. It's 25.
Good to hear that your venture was successful. I still do not feel comfortable with this, but I understand it's necessary.
Also mentioned
I will
keep him.
have people to keep an eye on him at all times.
Also mentioned keep him away from Belinda, please.
Alright. So, what do you want to do? As you get forward, are you
Regret my life decisions.
Maybe.
I don't like any of this, but we kind of need his knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can always kill him. Though.
I'm banking on it.
I'm hoping he just dies in the elephant battle.
We have so many people on our list.
Sadly.
Where are we right now, though? Like, are we walking through
As you're walking
courtyards?
apart, you've walked out of the courtyard at this point, heading across the clearing. At this point, he kind of like says, "This should be far enough."
Okay, I'll begin the circle. Starts chalking out with the gems and chalk on a nearable surface, like a tree or something that's solid. The circle
Saying
for.
that you're chalking out sounds like a Storm slang version for taking cocaine.
He's chalking out, yeah. This stuff is like cocaine to wizards. Skip that chalk.
Oh my god!
It's gem infused.
All right, get on with your goddamn
Start
spell.
chalk it up. Start chalk it up.
All right,
Yeah.
so you spent the time going through it, the process, and eventually you get to that last second as it begins to light up. Are you all jumping through, or is there anything you want to do momentarily before you go?
Keeping a
All right.
fucking eye on Aranon.
All right, so as it lights up, you all head through the circle, or begin to go through, I guess. As you jump through, you hear, I suppose those of you who speak Solarian hear the word eviscerate, and then suddenly this explosion as you're leaping through, and you watch the whole factory explode in a moment.
What?
As it blows apart as Aranon steps through the circle with you. In a second, you are sent blurring through reality as, once again, the circle in Sindri's tower lights up and you all appear in the top of
I
Sindri's
had
tower
to duck
once
out
again.
there, but I missed that. What happened?
He
blew up
the factory! All of it!
Eviscerated the factory. He eviscerated it.
He spoke a command word, and as we went through the teleportation cycle, the whole place erupted in flames, and everyone inside died, I guess.
But that doesn't make sense. If he said he was going to schedule that guy to be experimented on,
He's
Mate,
fucking
this guy-
insane.
He's insane. He's clinically insane.
It makes all the sense for
It doesn't
a
need
madman.
to make sense for him.
He's fully unhinged. He's
Style.
fully unhinged.
His sense is mentally ill.
He just fucking what?
Well, the circle's gone now.
Okay, Ewan.
As soon as we touch ground, I am shoving him against a wall, dagger to his throat.
Oh god. Oh god.
Val'Aeria's
God.
poker.
Oh god.
The fuck, bro?
Do you say
He
that to him?
just kind of laughs and then just stops and stares at you.
Are we in
Doesn't
Sindri's
blink.
tower? Sorry,
You are
I
in
missed that.
You are in Sindri's
What
tower
the hell
now.
was that about, huh?
He just continues to stare at you.
Do that.
What did you do?
I prevented a means of being followed.
You what? You thought that
And destroyed all of the research.
Research
It's been kept out of people's hands.
You realize you've exhausted your use to us by doing that.
He hasn't done.
Why? There was people in there.
People?
The people, the disturbance, the people you were hacking up.
You mean the resources?
My dagger just dips into his skin enough to draw blood, but not go through.
Let him go. Let him go.
Do you have any idea what he just did?
Whatever it is not nearly as bad as what he did with the Empire. And like it or not, he is still a Stellarian citizen. I cannot allow you to slaughter one in my establishment.
He is wanted by the Empire to be executed, right? Mate,
It is a complicated matter of which I assume you will not understand, but that aside, even if he is due to be executed, he is due to be executed by a Stellarian court, not some mercenaries.
Well, right now we are in Deep Bay. So we'll be taking him to Castle Deep Bay, to the dungeons. Until we figure out what it is we need to do with him.
That sounds plausible to me. As long as no harm befalls him. I would hate for imperial influence in this matter.
He'll be alive.
I think the dungeons is the best option for now. Can we all agree on that? That kind of behavior is of use to nobody.
As long as he can't escape, we don't know what else he's capable of.
I hate to say it, but we are in Deep Bay. His actions were committed in Dafid. It's up to Dafid's law.
As a member of Dafid, we put him in the dungeon.
There you go.
And have him stripped of all his magical items as well.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't put him in the dungeons. Just saying that we probably won't be able to do much else than that.
That's enough for now. What is Aranon doing during this? Is he just...
He's just staring at
I'm
Arya.
pinned against the wall. I've got my dagger to his throat.
Aranon, do you consent to be binded?
He just smiles. He's not actually left eye contact with Arya this whole time.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Arya, let him go.
She can keep her dagger to his throat if she wishes.
Tie his hands, please.
I'm
do
gonna go
that.
over and okay.
Alright. You go over and tie his hands. He doesn't break eye contact with Arya.
As soon as they're tied, I will release, and the little bit of blood that I drew goes into the dagger.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
You will see to it that he is not harmed.
Like I said, he'll be alive.
I said not harmed.
You heard what you said.
Very well.
Let's go.
We'll lead him out.
I'm making sure to keep him in front of me the entire time.
Should we form a little, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it collectively been an hour? Will my see invisibility still be on? Collectively, what? Or... Just curious.
After an hour, I'm going to say an hour's passed at this
Okay,
point.
okay.
Especially after the story and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I guess we march him through the streets, right?
Yeah.
Straight to Theodore.
Now back at Deep Bay, you march him through the streets. I mean, it's basically the middle of the night, so not many people are around. You do come past some taverns where there's some activity, but generally the streets are vacant, and you're able to head right back up to the castle. And through the courtyard, you're allowed in. Are you going straight to his office?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Find Theodore straight away.
Very well. So, So, marching upstairs towards the office, you can see as you get there, the door is already kind of half ajar, and you see Theodora inside, kind of like pulling a, not really a cloak, but more like a, I'm trying to think of the term I'm thinking, what?
A jacket.
Fucking hell. No, like
A denim jacket.
yes,
Double
that
denim.
specific.
Hey, jacket.
Like a, how have I fucking, like a robe, I
He's
guess.
got
like a
cowboy
night
boots and a hat on as well.
robe. I will fucking,
Has he got big iron?
I will fight. Right, that's it.
Big iron on his hip?
His hands become free,
Oh
and
no!
so you as you step in, you can see Theodore in this kind of night robe. As you step through.
He needs to go in the dungeon.
Now,
Care to explain
You just
why?
blew up a building full of people.
he just murdered a building full of people.
At least a few dozen.
Not in Deep Bay. In his factory.
Doesn't matter where he did it. He's a piece of shit.
I warned you.
You did.
I warned you about finding this man.
Said he has information that may be useful.
That's the worst part. He
The
actually
knowledge
is.
of the benefit is quite extensive.
Right. This is a very precarious position you've put me in. It's not the first today.
Can you, and I
If he did indeed do something of this scale, then I imagine that David will want to extradite him, and if that's the case, then his imprisonment is justified. Guards. And you see a couple walk in from the waiting room. I assume that you will want to take him there yourselves.
you don't have.
Take this man for interrogation.
What cell do you propose we put him in? He's not going to be held by any usual cell.
There are some ancient cells beneath the castle here. They've not been used in a very long time. The most commonly used ones for petty criminals and the like are those beneath the Hall of Justice.
Any that are anti-magic?
Hall of Order, even. No. There are not enough spellcasters here to warrant that investment. But he will be bound and gagged.
Theodore.
You even consider doing this to my people here, I will not have any hesitation to execute you there and then. The guards will kind of grip onto him, wait for you to release your own.
Theodore,
Take him and leave the room.
please. I know that it's not something that you may be comfortable with, but please try to keep as much information about this man away from Belinda.
I think I can tell what to tell and not to tell to my fiancée.
It's on your head if anything happens.
The rest of you, I wish you to leave the room for now. And he looks to Eridel.
And just last thing, please do not harm that man. He's a very valuable.
Not to
source of
mention,
knowledge.
Sindri made it uncomfortably clear that he wasn't going to stand. We wouldn't.
You will not be harmed. I'm aware of imperial diplomatic immunity here in the city.
Thank you. Exit the room.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I leave.
This is not the first time I'm having this conversation with your group. Looks to you, Aranon. When I gave you a position of power in this city, I expected you to uphold that with dignity. I put myself in a very precarious position again to do so. I am unaware of how nobility works in the Isles. But this is a free city, with free citizens. And threatening one will not be tolerated. A report was filed with one of my officers. I heard about it 20 minutes ago. Now, I'm not going to penalize you. I am not going to do anything rash. And I certainly am not going to jeopardize the task that you have to hold. As far as the situation is concerned, he is out of the picture. Financially.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. What is it that I'm supposed to have done?
I have been informed
The shopkeeper.
on good source. It's just Aradel in the room.
Oh.
That's right. On good evidence that you intimidated one of the exchange's shop owners. And given your history, and that this is not the first time that part of your group has attempted to steal from the facility there, it stands to reason that it could be true. Do you have anything to say?
Intimidated.
The description I was given was that you, quote, placed your arms on the table, stood over him, and threatened him harm should you not get what you asked for.
I never threatened to harm him. I'm an intimidating person, Theodore.
I do not disagree that you have changed. And those are good skills when put to the right uses. But if this was, let's call it an accident, a miscommunication, then now you are aware. As I just said, the matter is cleared. But I hope that you take this conversation to heart.
As you said,
You-
it's a free city for people to do business as they will. But I will take the conversation to heart. I am now aware that someone might be intimidated.
That is all.
I'm gonna go to walk out of the room and then kind of pause. Oh. I'm also completely aware now of the arrangement that you have with my mother.
Ugh.
He's not really going to say anything. He's just going to look away from you and go into one of the other rooms.
Yikes.
I want to say something. It's gonna get me in trouble.
Oh, Jay, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you guys are so
It's only a matter of time.
What are you doing?
Before I go, I just hope that you know that if you do have a child, they will be subject to as much torture with that woman as I was. And if that is the fate that you wish for your children, so be it. And then I'm gonna leave.
Okay, you step out into the waiting room. Presumably the others are still there.
Slut! Anyway, I'm gonna go. Talking to Theodore. Whoring himself out.
Little sloot.
So what are you guys doing?
I'm going off. I need a moment. Oh! So...
I don't know. I'm feeling so many things after that.
Shit, I was muted bombs.
We just, like, watched, like, hundreds of people die at once.
Instantly. Instantaneously.
Well, I was thinking about finding an excuse to go back. So good job I didn't, because I might have also been blown up. That
Yeah.
wouldn't have been fun.
Arya's gonna go off and find somewhere that's got a nice view out into the sea.
Don't you want to go make sure that he's, he makes it to the cell?
I don't want to see that guy for a while.
I'm going to go and check.
I
want to
think
make
I'm
sure
gonna
he
go
won't
as
get there.
well, yeah.
I'll go back to the house.
See you back there. I think you're muted.
Hayden and Ewan
I am.
both
I am.
talking.
Aria, you weave through the hallways until you can find like a window that's got a view out westward towards the sea.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely pitch black now. It's night time, other than the lights of the city that kind of
Even
illuminate
just the sound of
sky.
the sea.
But you can see the moonlight vaguely on the blackness of the water beyond, and you can hear the whoosh of the sea. Zuko, you are heading back to the house.
That's the plan.
You make your way back to your fortress. And who is going down to make sure he is in his cell?
Aye.
Alright. So the two of you.
Can I actually don't want to. Actually, no, yeah, I do. Sorry. Ignore me.
I think I'd like to join in on the sound.
Sorry. Sorry.
You're right there, Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Kayak
going
of
down
you.
with them.
That
Yeah,
was
sorry.
so Kayak of you.
Okay,
Okay, everyone who's going
Yeah,
down.
all right.
Towards, like, as the three of us walk off, for a moment, he just steps back and walks in the opposite direction, and then just again.
It feels so bad
So
to
you-
laugh after that.
You,
I think I'd like to go with them as well.
the group of you. Okay, so the group of you go down towards cells. You're guided down, coming to like a chamber with a very locked, very well locked iron door, which descends a staircase downwards, which you can imagine is probably going deep into the cliffside itself. Eventually, you get to the bottom, and you can see it's like a square chamber with a series of hallways venturing off, and a couple of doorways, which you can imagine are probably the rooms where people used to work here when this was a functioning dungeon. As you get to the bottom of the stairs, you can hear this distant like singing. And as you look, you can see the two guards that brought him down are kind of stood outside of a cell, and the sound is resonating from that direction.
Is that in Sylvan?
It is in Stellarian.
Oh, right.
I can understand that. If
I mean, it appears to be like, as best you can tell, a lullaby about a mother basically teaching someone the fundamentals of a very simple spell, and I guess the context of it might be lost on you, but
Oh my
you
god.
understand it. As you follow down, and you can see he's just sat there in this cell. It's basically, I mean, it's slick with water. The stone slabs are uneven. This black rock. There is a single like cracked wooden bench in there, and it's just kind of sat there mid-song and then stops as he sees you coming. He just stares through the bars.
So you made it okay then? Oh, he's gagged, isn't he? Is he gagged? No, he was singing.
No.
I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm just gonna leave.
That's a fair point. I mean, you can see. I guess they're coming in to gag him. We'll say that. Like that was him being brought down. I guess. So as he's like led in, and placed down, you can see they begin to like tie this rope through his mouth.
Are his hands still bound?
Yes, they're bound behind him.
Okay.
Well, shit.
What are you doing?
I'd like to, I don't know, I can't really do it that stealthily, but I'll try. Cast alarm around the front of the cell.
Sure.
Some way for him, I don't know, he's probably going to see, but...
How is he chained up right now?
He's just bound by rope behind his back and gagged.
Is there a guard in the dungeon then?
Yes, there is two that brought him down. As you entered the cell, he was gagged by one of them.
Is he? Oh, he is gagged.
Yes.
Okay, good. I go up to one of the guards and go, "Is there a way that you could? Do you have any restraints that restrict the movement of fingers?"
No. Just rope.
It may be wise to look into some. We don't want him moving his fingers casting spells.
I think his hands are reasonably tied up right now.
His hands, yes, but you don't need hands. You need what's attached to your hands in order to cast spells, as far as I understand.
I'll see what I can do, sir.
I am going to use Psionic Whispers on him.
Okay. He accepts it. He'll feel that presence there and he wills it in.
Tell me about the others.
You don't think I would play all of my cards, do you?
Not even to me. Perfection.
There's no response.
So you won't tell me anything.
Again, seems to be silence.
Would you tell me why? Nothing again?
Why what?
Why will you not tell me?
Your friend said it himself. I give everything up, you kill me. And there are others that still need my help.
So you believe that if you tell us everything that we'll kill you?
You do have many humans among you. They are so rash and indecisive.
What could they do with the information about other psionics, though? What?
It's not what they could do with it. It's what you want. Don't you want to know where your family is?
Of course.
Then you better not let them kill me.
How about we don't go incinerating any other human beings then?
You come from a land of people that murder innocents. Who are you to tell me about innocent lives? How many Val'Aeria have you killed on raids? How many children did you make orphans? I'm very proud of you. Very proud.
Fuck you. Gonna leave.
As you say that, like the laughter in his mind just becomes so maniacal. You're not sure if he even heard you say it.
Okay. 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 I'm gonna leave.
Alright. So you guys, I guess, witness her staring at him and for about 5 minutes and then
I think at this point we've kind of
away.
I feel like we know what's probably going on there.
Probably.
Yeah.
After a while, we like the telltale signs of it. So Kenzo will probably be like, "Did he have anything interesting to say?" Or was it the usual Golden Empire supremacy nonsense?
This isn't Golden Empire supremacy.
Oh, I didn't want to say Elven supremacy.
Doesn't matter.
This, and I'll wait until we walk a little further away from the cell before, just so he's not listening in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, to say that this has likely been the hardest on you, I think would be an understatement.
Well, yes. But I can't say that I'm not relieved. I've had literally no information about my mother's side of the family for as long as I've been alive. And now I could potentially have cousins or aunts or even great aunts and uncles.
Maybe they're out there living normal lives, unaware of what they know.
If they're anything like my mother and Aranon,
Maybe they're nothing like them. I sense that the mindset of Belinda and Aranon
It's something that is hereditary, passed on. But unlike something like, say, eye color or the length of your fingers, it's an idea can be more easily broken.
Does that mean I have that same mindset?
That's up to you. What do you believe? What do you want to fight for?
The strangest thing is that even though I am horrified by what happened, I do not want him to come to any harm. It's the closest link to external family that I've ever had.
It's understandable. Outside of your mother, you've had really no one who could ever talk to you about these things. And she's not exactly a fount of warmth and comfort.
A lot makes a lot more sense now. It's from psionic traditions. And if she truly believes that people that wield psionics are capable of taking down the Golden Empire, then it must have been something that was drilled into her.
Quite the indoctrination, it would seem, yes.
And if Aranon's anything to speak for it, then he probably played a large part in it. He referred to himself as a god.
Yes, that I found particularly troubling.
A god directs their people. I just hope that Theodore keeps them away from each other.
Are you worried that about the influence that him and potentially the others may have on you?
I'm more worried that
I don't
they
mean psychic
see-
influence. Sorry for clarification. I meant more personality or characteristics.
I'm more worried that they will see an anomaly and see it as a threat. If I don't follow the same mindset as my mother and Aranon and potentially the others, then who knows?
Do you know that my people don't believe in cards? The Parisians, we don't really have any religions.
What, none at all?
No, we're more of a philosophical people.
So what do you believe in?
Will. The will to exert over the world and over yourself, to choose your own way, decide how it ends.
In the Isles, it's a lot more up to fate.
We don't really believe in that either, to be honest.
The gods, if you appease them, they decide if to give you a good outcome or a bad outcome.
What was it? There was a swordsman in my land where I was from. He once said that you should be respectful to the gods if they exist, but you shouldn't rely on them.
I hope that you get to see the Isles one day. Perhaps you'll understand when you're surrounded by the forces of nature, you realize will sometimes is not enough.
Perhaps if relying too much on the strength given to you by others, is it not yours? It's not yours after a certain point. My point is, I think you have a lot more control over how your life turns out than you think you do. I know that you believe that Belinda or the psionic bloodline that you are tied to, you have some responsibility to them. And perhaps, you know, if you feel, if that is truly what you want to do, perhaps when this is all over, we can look for your your extended family. But don't feel that blood has to dictate your actions.
Part of me would like to go and find them. There is still a... Most of me wants to go home.
And if that is the will of Eridel, then so be it.
You forget, I still have an Estrag to kill. I give him a little punch on the shoulder, thanks, Kensei.
That might actually hurt me at this point. If this was old Aerodale, probably not, but...
Just two buff dudes in a cell.
Punching each other in the shoulder.
Throwing out.
Pausing that one right there.
Bros,
So,
in a cell,
now
5
that
feet
you're
apart.
that being said, now that you're actually strong enough to do it, we haven't actually sparred. And we have a big house that is already kind of a wreck anyway.
You said spar and my attention was piqued. Name a time and a place at Master Kensei. And I'm gonna do a little Parisian bow.
I'm trying to think.
we don't do that here.
What time is it? very is that he's just kind of you can't see his face obviously, but you get the sense he's giving an expression of close enough.
Or I could challenge you the way that warriors in the Isles would.
how's that?
And I'm gonna fake a punch in the face.
Does it hit me?
I'm faking it. I'm just gonna swing and deliberately stop before it hits your face. And then we fight.
Like this, and I'll do the same thing. But
Exactly like that. Except we actually hit each other.
I get the sense that Aria will want to take bets on us, so maybe we do it when everyone's home.
You're not allowed to use your swords though.
That might make things a bit difficult, but sure.
We could just have an arm wrestle.
We could do that.
Might be a more amicable way of solving the problem.
It's been such a long time since I did something. Yes, why not?
Alright, we'll go back to the house then. I'm gonna arm wrestle Kensei. Yes! Physical contact with Kensei. Yes!
With his strength of
Yeah, that's
We're already having our massive anime weeb session where we're fucking stuffing our fists 2 centimeters from each other's face.
As you walk away, the two guards that are stood by the cell just kind of looking at you, just
Fake
what
punching
is
each
going
other.
on? What is going on? Storm and Gaiak, you're still there, right?
Yeah, I think I would have
Just
already left by this point. I would have seen that he's
Sure.
tied up, satisfied with that, and then I would have just gone back to the house, I think.
Alright, cool.
I'm gonna stay with him
Alright,
and watch him for
sure.
quite a while. until anyone else comes to ask me if anything.
Alright, so, I mean, you stay there. The whole time, he just kind of stares at you, wide-eyed, mad.
I'll be doing some
And
writing.
he's got a gag, but he's still got, you can still see the smile beneath it.
You don't intimidate me.
Just stares.
I'm like half looking at him, half like doing some writing and some notes in my book.
Alright. Go through the process of doing that. The rest of you, one way or another, make your way back to the house, to the fortress even. I mean, one by one you arrive back. Is there anything you'd like to do with this evening? I mean, it is about evening, it's not too
I
late.
believe I have an arm wrestling scheduled.
You do. Would you like to do that now?
Oh, where's Aranon gone?
She vanished.
No.
She disappeared.
Running.
Is there anything anyone else
He
would
was
like
scared
to
of
do
the arm wrestle.
whilst we wait?
Running from the
She
fight.
was.
I see how it is.
Oh, there is something I'd want to do, but want to do it away from everyone else.
Sure, yeah, what is it you'd like to do?
Probably go. Where's the abandoned church at? Which was it here in this place, Deep Bay, that the abandoned church was?
Yeah, it was in Deep Bay. It was the
Number
church at
12.
the bottom.
Yeah.
No, it's down here.
oh,
That's yeah,
Yeah.
This is the abandoned one.
I'm just gonna go to there and sort of. It was on a cliff edge, right?
It was.
Yeah, just sit at the cliff edge, and I'm gonna do a sending spell to Zinnia.
The Zinnia, okay.
Zinnia, Alistair here. Hope you're okay and in good health. Did you make it to? Is it Val'Aeria that's below David? Right.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Val'Aeria, okay. If so, where are you now? Send that off.
Okay. So there's a moment that goes by as you wait for a response, but eventually you do have one. Alistair, good to hear your voice. Yes, we crossed the border. We're currently making camp outside a village. I'm not sure on the name. We just tried to get as far away from the border as we could. I don't know if we were spotted. That's all.
I'll do one more. Actually, see how what spells look for this actually. If I can do one more. Yeah, I can easily do one more. Just gonna send back. Try and make it to a place called Ravenwood. Say you're a friend of me. Yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Okay, cool. Yeah, you send that message off. Ravenwood, right? If you believe we'll be safe there, that's where we shall head. Not really much else we can do, or anywhere else to go.
Okay, I'll use the 6th level spell.
Alright.
Please Stay safe. I'm sorry I put you in this position. Just enough.
Don't apologise. You were staying loyal to Kufa. You were lied to, clearly. Lied to this whole time. I fear for us, Alistair. I fear for us and you. Master Shan is out there.
Oh, fuck it, 7th as well, just reply.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna... Don't worry. I'll take care of him. That's my spell's tapped.
If anyone who can, it's you.
Out.
Alright.
I'm gonna... go back to our home, I guess. Or house.
Alright. So, eventually you've all congregated at your home. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Are we feeling all right? Sorry.
That's right.
I think that as soon as I got back to the house, I would have gone in the lamp somewhere, put it on a table or something, and tried to decompress after all of that for a while. And maybe try and call my dad.
Alright. Sure. So, heading into your lamp, you go to call your dad.
Daddy.
I'm guessing by that you mean like you're like calling out to him and.
Father!
Papa, can you hear me?
Are you home?
Yeah, you call out, and then momentarily, like a moment later, you hear like the puff of air as he appetites behind you. Zuko, how are you, son?
Scared me.
Not my intent.
Sorry, yes, I'm a little jumpy. It's not been the best few days. We've learned a lot. And
Doesn't sound like it, no.
did you hear that? How much have you heard?
Well, I was having a nap.
He was having fun.
Well, yes, I'm allowed to sleep every so often.
Of course.
Whether I need to or not. It's nice. Just, there's something very relaxing about paralyzing your body and falling unconscious and hallucinating vividly.
I'm quite partial to it.
Anyway.
Yes. What is the last thing that you remember before taking a nap?
Well, I was hearing you talk to this rather delightful fellow at a warehouse, perhaps? Or...
Aranon.
Oh, yes, him, I think that's his name.
Yes, he was
Charming man.
eccentric. I really thought he was going to be an excellent help, but his impulses do not align with a good person.
Oh, that's a shame.
He murdered dozens. As we were stepping into the teleportation circle to leave, he exploded the entire compound.
Oh. Shit.
Oh shit. Yes.
Yikes, well. Suppose that's what happens when you make deals with madmen.
And yet we still need his help.
I really... Zuko. He just kind of like dad slaps his legs and sits down on the sofa. It's just huge, man. Like, he dwarfs this sofa. And you hear the creak of the wood as he sits down. Look, I really wish... The thing about being a father, Zuko, is giving advice and things like that. And I really have no idea what to tell you.
Just wanted to talk about it, if I'm honest.
Oh!
I just...
You want to talk with me? You want to talk with me?
Yes.
Sort of like a father-son bonding thing. You talk about your problems, and I listen.
Yes.
Yeah, hold one. And you see him, like, kind of wave his hand around, and this cloud appears, and father-son bonding for amateurs appears in his hand.
You don't need that.
Well,
You don't need
I
it.
figured that...
You just have to... I was just telling you, because it's stressful and... You know...
Like, you see him, like, now as you look back, he has, like, little round glasses at the end of his nose as he's, like, slowly turning a page, as he's, like, half looking down. And how does that make you feel?
You don't... This is... Never mind. Never mind. You...
Slaps the book shut and it just disappears. Ugh. You and I were never very good at talking with each other.
No. No, we weren't. I did want to ask you some questions, but I don't even know if it's worth it at this point. You're going to rely on books.
Ask, please.
We talked before about the Illithid, and that you mentioned about their elusive nature, and that they were older than even you. Aranon talked at length about their origins, or at least not their origins, but about the Empire's first encounters with them and what he knew of them. He mentioned a creature called an aboleth. We heard of such a thing.
Aboleth.
Apparently it is an ancient aberrational creature.
Oh, yes, those assholes, yeah.
They're not very kind, then.
Well, I mean, it seems to be the in thing these days that everyone wants to build an empire, but, these things did.
They did what, sorry? They built an...
They did build an empire, and then it fell. Now they just swim around the plane of water and just annoy people.
And sometimes do they cross to the prime material plane?
Well, the planes have been pretty divided for the last, well, forever, really. And then that collision happened, and suddenly little holes were appearing everywhere. You went to one yourself, actually. You went to that island. It was a sort of crossing point.
Oh, yes. That was the elemental plane of water, right? If I remember.
It was, yes. So perhaps it came out of there.
Perhaps.
That, or it was trapped here ever since.
Well, this thing, it seems to have... I don't know, it's working with the Illithid, or it's forcing them to work for it. Does that check out?
Aboleths are very selfish, self-interested things. I would find it surprising that they would work with a potential competitor.
This one.
I don't really know much about them, but just what the matrons have said.
See. Well, this one was certainly connected to the illithid hive mind somehow. We might need to fight one.
Well, all I can tell you would be that they seem to have very similar powers to the illithid in as much as domination. Both have psionic capabilities, but I would argue that the illithid are significantly more powerful.
The illithid are more powerful.
Well, in terms of their psionic abilities. As a group, from what I know. You must understand, our home is very disconnected. Our last real connections with the world up until 200 odd years ago was not even centuries, not millennia, entire eons.
See. I get the impression that whatever we end up fighting, it's not going to be easy.
No, I don't think it will be.
We're pulling allies from everywhere in the coast. Most of them aren't going to get along before, during, or after. The odds are against us here. Sometimes I wonder if we should just go back home.
I understand the mentality there.
Of course, that has its own difficulties. And I don't know, I feel attached to this group. I want to protect them.
You always were a bit of a protector.
I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to do that.
I think you should have a little more faith in yourself. You've done amazing things.
Thanks to you.
Only in a manner of speaking. When you turn a oven on, it's simply the source of the heat, but the cooking that is done by the chef, not the oven. You are a chef. I'm the oven.
I can see how that would be true. Perhaps one day I'll be Zuko the Marvelous.
I like Zuko the Delightful.
Yes, that does sound good.
But I would happily settle for Zuko the Sun.
Oh fuck, my daddy issues.
Daddy issues go through.
I know I've said it before, but I am truly sorry. And once all of this has been dealt with, once I am more powerful as a result of it, I'm sure that my friends will help me free you.
I believe you. Maybe then we can begin to heal.
I hope so.
I I did read that in the book.
I still don't think you need the book.
It's important to learn healthy techniques to deal with things, and I think that the books are a good way of doing that. That is my method of learning.
Well, if it helps. Do you know that I tried to become a father? I had a little tadpole in a jar, and he was like my little pet. And then everyone killed it. No, Arya killed it. It was a very sad ordeal.
I'm glad you brought up that second part, because I'm not prepared for that talk.
No, it was just like a pet. He was called Wormy.
Oh.
But it turns...
Yes, I did hear some shouting, and then that mean one stabbed you, I think?
Yes,
Something
she did.
happened.
She did. It hurts quite a bit. But, I don't think she means to be so mean all the time. Got good bones.
Must drink a lot of milk. It's a joke. Zuko, do you get it?
I know, yes.
Because milk, good for the bones.
I get it. Yes. Well, I think I hear the others. I think they're back.
You could stay if you want.
I could.
But you have important things to talk about. I understand, yes.
Yes, you can listen in, and then next time I come in the land, we can discuss it.
I'm glad you gave me your permission on that. It sometimes feel like I'm hearing things that I don't want to. And Zuko, please, when you are sharing a camp, please, for the love of all the greater spirits, would you just please leave me away from those two's tent?
Wait.
I just do not want to be near it
Wait,
anymore.
what?
The things I have heard,
What?
Zuko.
Who?
You know.
Wasn't aware. Spill the tea.
No.
Come on, you can't.
Go away! He raises his hand, and you just land on your tushy outside the lamp.
Is something going on between two people in the group? Delightful. I have to find out who.
He actually wouldn't know because we broke up before we met Zuko, I'm pretty sure.
That's actually true. Maybe
I
he
can't
doesn't
wait for him to connect the two complete wrong people.
Kayak and Storm?
I figured that was a combo as well.
Yeah.
Alright, you know what? I think as you come out of the lamp and as you all congregate together, I think that's a pretty good place for us to end the session this week. Oh my goodness.
Oh, didn't I arm wrestle?
There was one thing I wanted to do as well.
Oh no, what is it? What was it you wanted to do?
It would. I mean, it might be I don't know. No, just then.
Alright, we can do it at the beginning of next session if you need to. Oh, goodness me.
These guys.
That was very, very good. So, thank you, everyone, for watching. It's good to see people in the chat as always. And big fan of this name, Lasagna Nipples.
Lasagna Nipples.
Lasagna Nipples.
I mean, I kind of want to say Lasagna Nippless.
Nipless.
But,
Nippless.
Nipless.
The nipless man.
It's a
Well,
great name.
I guess we'll never know. Thank you for the follow there. Yeah, so before we finish, we'll do our shout-outs once again. So, Mitch, go on. You know you want to kick it off.
Alright, I will. Twitch.tv/Natural Wonders. Monday night, 7 PM GMT/BST, whatever time of year we're in. Me, Ewan, Sam, Jay, a couple of other buddies who also stream. We play Star Wars Into the Empire. It's a great time. If you like TTRPGs and rolling dice and you like Star Wars, it's perfect for you. Come and check us out. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Sam, do you want to say a little bit about what you did?
Sure, Sam JKP, twitch.tv/SamJKP. Yeah, it's on YouTube as well. Yeah, come and watch. I play a lot of Pokemon, a little bit of Faz every now and then. A bit few and far between with Faz, but it still is there, mostly Pokemon. So if you enjoy that, come and watch.
Thank you. And Maya?
Yes, I also stream on twitch.tv/animeya. It's got 2 eyes, not just one, because I'm. And I stream Genshin Impact, and in about just over a month, I will be streaming a playthrough of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So if you like Viking stuff, then come and check it out. I have heard that it is very, very good.
Oh yes. And finally, Jay, do you wanna
Me?
say you've been streaming a bit?
I've streamed like twice, 3 times maybe. Yeah, I'll probably stream again though. Might stream some Fallout, I don't know. Or some Grifflands, or some Kenshi. Maybe all at once. Maybe I'll stream all 3 at once and see what happens.
Oh my goodness.
Except 76, because fuck that.
Oh yeah, no, not all Fallouts. I mean Fallout, Kenshi, and Grifflands.
Some of them.
To see what happens.
Some of the Fallouts. Cool, thank you. And finally, we've got our Discord in there. So if you want to be able to see maps, handouts, any kind of art, stay updated about the stream and things that we're doing. We've had viewers in the past join us for some streams, so if you want to have a chance in doing that, then make sure to join the Discord. It's just cool. Please do, please, for the love of God, please do it. But that will be all from us this week, so we will see you next Sunday, and until then, just remember to stay dirty.